This chat group administrator really takes things seriously. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 51, Power and Politics. The third Hokage couldn't imagine who could defeat all the root ninjas in an instant in the root Danzo's territory. The third Hokage was very clear about Danzo's strength. Although he was not as good as himself, he also had the strength to become a Hokage. He and Danzo were members of the elite guard force of the second Hokage when they were young. They were teammates with Sarutobi Hiruzen, Uchiha Kagami, Mitokado En, Utatane Koharu, and Akimichi Tofu. They were the Konoha high-level officials who came here now. The enemy is very strong and has not alarmed the outer barrier of Konoha. I suspect that the other party knows space ninjutsu. Only in this way can it be in line with the current situation. Namikaze Minato threw the blame to his apprentice Uchiha Obito without hesitation. What a good Hokage he used to be. Now he has also learned bad things. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded. Namikaze Minato continued to speak. After Danzo disappeared, the root ninja informed me. Just in case, I called the Konoha high-level officials and the head of the Uchiha clan. As a result, I saw these experiments at the root base when I arrived. These experiments are obviously not something that can be completed in a day or two. Moreover, when I was Hokage, I also heard that the root was studying intermediate cells, which started when the second generation died. The meaning of Minato Namikaze's tone was very clear. The third Hokage could only sigh and say nothing more. The fourth Hokage was obviously blaming him. The third Hokage could only sigh that he was really old and could not do it. This is actually a game. The meaning is very clear. Let the third Hokage admit his mistakes, stop greedy for power, and retire well. Mistakes are mistakes. Next, the Konoha high-level officials will hold a meeting. The fourth Hokage wants to maximize his own interests in this meeting. And because of what Danzo did this time, many Konoha high-level officials have some opinions about the third Hokage. After all, the will of fire of Konoha village does not allow harm to companions. Bonds and protection are the mainstream ideas of Konoha. Many Konoha high-level officials have been brainwashed like this since childhood. Standing on a high place, standing in a bright place, they want to use their own morality to demand others. This is called standing on the commanding heights of morality. The fourth Hokage has three purposes for this meeting. Help the Uchiha clan return to the center of the village. This incident is a good inducement. If the Uchiha clan is not driven into a corner, they will definitely be able to rescue in time when danger comes. It may be opposed, but at least we must strive for some benefits. After all, there are many Sharingans in that laboratory. The Uchiha clan is still a member of Konoha now. Suppressing the Uchiha clan is not forcing the Uchiha clan to rebel. Konoha's first red-eyed family is not a boast. If the Uchiha rebels, Konoha will inevitably be seriously injured. If the war just ended, and Konoha village is seriously injured again, its position as the first ninja village may not be guaranteed. You must know that the current strength of the Hidden Cloud village is very strong. The perfect 8-tailed Jinchuriki killer bee. The violent and powerful 4th Raikage AI. The speed of the 4th Raikage can be said to be second only to the Golden Flash Namikaze Minato. In a battle, he fought with Minato Namikaze, and both sides retreated in the end, without a life and death battle. The second purpose is to keep the root alive, but the leader is replaced by Orochimaru. I believe that as Orochimaru's teacher, the third generation Hokage should not object. Now all the pots are thrown to Danzo. After all, he is the real murderer behind the scenes. So in the eyes of everyone, although Orochimaru is a little cold, he is also a member of Konoha, and he once competed for Hokage. Opposition should not be too much, but it also requires bargaining. The third purpose is the Anbu, a force that belongs only to the Hokage, the Konoha assassination force, and the most elite army of Konoha. The third generation Hokage may not be willing to give up power, but the matter of Danzo is a sign. All these messes of Danzo were made during his reign. Still need to bargain. It's really troublesome politics. Jiangnan will not participate. After all, politics is super troublesome. Besides, the world of Naruto is not his own world. It is better to teach people how to fish than to give them fish. I will leave after all. Don't interfere with the other party's growth. Don't interfere with the other party's battle, unless the other party can't beat him. Only when Minato Namikaze grows up in this way, can he stand on his own. Jiangnan walked on the street. The Konoha high-level officials obviously blocked the news of Danzo. After all, if ordinary people knew about this kind of thing, it might cause panic. Evened out Konoha. You know, rumors are very scary. The former Iron Dragon, the extremely powerful Red Empire, fell apart because of rumors. But even if it fell apart, it still has the moves to perish with everyone. The heaven and the earth live together, and humans are nuclearized. As he walked, Jiangnan saw a familiar figure. It was a tall man wearing a forehead protector with the word oil written on it. His long white hair reached his waist. There was a red mark under his eyes, which was very long, and extended to his chin. He wore a red coat, a brown dress under the coat, wooden clogs on his feet, and armor-like equipment on his hands. He looked left and right furtively, then showed a lewd smile. Then he followed the familiar route, and prepared to observe the materials. This person was Jiraiya. Jiraiya was one of the 3 ninjas, a senior official of Konoha, and possessed the strength of a cage. But later, there were too many troubles in Konoha village, so he ran away and went to collect intelligence on the Akatsuki organization. This time he came back and obviously received a notice from the 3rd Hokage to inform him to attend a meeting. But Jiraiya's personality made him hate this kind of thing the most, so he simply didn't go after returning to Konoha and went directly to collect materials. That is, peeping into the women's bathhouse. At this time, the girls who were bathing in the women's bathhouse didn't know that a lewd man was staring at them. Jiangnan seemed to have thought of something fun, and a mischievous smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Lu, are you watching? Jiang, I'm watching. Lu Mingfei showed a smile that I understand. Jiangnan, damn, am I that kind of person? What's the point of peeping anyway? Students of Lu Mingfei's age are in adolescence, and they have more or less some small movies in their hands, especially the types that are hot in Tokyo. You don't understand this, right? This is called excitement. If you want to have excitement, then just go all the way. Jiangnan seemed to be meeting Lu Mingfei for the first time. You don't want to wear Pinru's clothes, do you? At this time, Lu Mingfei was the only one watching the live broadcast. After being admitted, he often slacked off in class. Now that the two were alone, Lu Mingfei's coquettishness instantly came up. This is what friends are like. In front of good friends, people will unconsciously relax and then expose the side of themselves that they don't want to expose normally. For example, sharing your own resources with friends. Chapter 52, Prank. Jiraiya's intimate paradise is said to be very good. Even Kakashi is addicted to it, and he keeps saying that he doesn't have enough mana and chakra. He even has to read intimate paradise when fighting with others. As you can imagine, this is a very popular book. It's a pity that the manga Naruto didn't tell the specific plot. If it was told, it might not pass the review, and would be directly censored. The less I can see it, the more I want to see it. Since I'm here, why don't I take a look? I wonder how much better it is than the Spring and Autumn I read. Jiangnan smiled. We should look at the texts of those works with an appreciative eye. Only people who wear yellow glasses will see everything as yellow. We should be noble people. Be a person who is free from vulgar tastes. Jiangnan feels that he is really an upright person. Now that the author is in front of him, he is ready to use the material on the spot. Jiangnan will let him take as much as he wants. In front of the window of the women's bathhouse, Jiraiya stepped on the wooden barrel with a wretched face, his eyes fixed on the scene inside, and the pen and notebook in his hands kept recording something. Lu Mingfei walked over with a very serious expression on his face. Group leader, you have to believe me, I'm a very upright young man. I will never rely on projection. Others can't see, can't touch me to spy on others. Absolutely not. But his feet kept speeding up, without any persuasiveness. Came in front of Jiraiya. This person has a wretched and regretful face, and it can be seen that he is a person with no future. He only knows how to write pornographic articles all day. Lu Mingfei and Jiraiya squatted together, and then looked at the Garden of Eden in his mind. The next second Lu Mingfei screamed in fear. Ah! My eyes. My eyes. Which bastard group of holy light knights? Don't fire flash bombs randomly. I can't see anything. Mingfei covered his eyes and rolled on the ground frantically. Jiang Nan seemed to have known it for a long time. Mingfei, this is a serious chat group. We can't talk about loot things. Our live broadcast is also a serious live broadcast. Isn't it normal to have a few holy light knights in a serious live broadcast? Mingfei felt like he was going to cry. Why didn't you remind me, group leader? Jiang Nan spread his hands. Such a fun thing. Why should I stop it? Damn it, I can't watch it, and no one else can watch it. The group leader is going to mess with him. Mingfei stood up from the ground. The flash bomb thrown by the holy light knight had disappeared. Of course. Jiang Nan had a smile on his face. It's not as fun to mess with people as to wander around, especially to mess with such an interesting person. Jiraiya was taking notes quickly, preparing to write all the materials into his story. He didn't notice that a young man of 17 or 18 walked behind him. That face was full of naughty smiles, as if he was a child who was playing a prank. Jiraiya was very focused. He was so focused that he forgot himself. Jiang Nan saw the opportunity and raised his leg and kicked Jiraiya's butt directly. Jiraiya didn't expect someone to attack him. It hurts. He felt a sharp pain, and then a huge force came from his butt, kicking him into the women's bathhouse. He also smashed the wall. The girls who were taking a bath didn't seem to expect someone to peek. He also smashed the wall. Pervert. Ah. Die. Dead pervert. Women screamed one after another. The beautiful girls quickly wrapped themselves in bath towels. Then they looked at Jiraiya lying on the ground. Jiraiya rubbed his butt and then looked at the girls in front of him who were staring at him. Do you believe me when I said I didn't mean it? Go to hell. All kinds of pots and pans were thrown at Jiraiya's head. Jiang Nan found this scene very interesting. Jiraiya turned and ran, as if the kick just now was too hard. Jiraiya covered his butt and limped while running away. I didn't peek. I was collecting materials. Oh, don't hit me in the face. Jiang Nan looked at this scene with a smile. Throughout Jiraiya's life, he was seriously injured twice. Once, when he was training with Naruto, the seal of the 9 tails was opened, and Naruto had 4 tails and lost consciousness. Under the premise of trying not to hurt Naruto, Jiraiya was seriously injured by Naruto, who had transformed into a tailed beast, but he still succeeded in stopping Naruto. The other time was because he peeped into the women's bathhouse and was beaten by Tsunade with 6 broken ribs, fractured both wrists, and several internal organs. Jiraiya is the type who knows that he is wrong, but he just won't change. In the end, Jiraiya still ran away. After all, he was a cage-level strongman. If he really wanted to escape, these girls wrapped in bath towels would not be able to catch up. And these girls could not leave the bathhouse like this. But if Tsunade knew about this, Jiraiya would probably be in trouble again. By the way, tell Tsunade. Jiang Nan thought of something more interesting. Let's make more pranks. Just after leaving the women's bathhouse, he was about to go to Tsunade to tell on her. Jiang Nan was stopped by someone. Jiraiya stood in front of Jiang Nan with a bruised face. Damn brat, you dare to kick my round ass? Jiang Nan tilted his head and almost didn't recognize him. You are the peeping pervert. Jiang Nan's voice was not loud, but everyone around could hear it. Don't talk nonsense. I was collecting materials. Jiraiya immediately lowered his voice and looked around, afraid that the group of girls would catch up. What material? It's obviously a perverted peeping Tom. SHHH. Jiraiya put his finger to his lips. Then he observed Jiang Nan seriously. Okay, kid, I don't blame you. You don't look like a ninja. I haven't seen you in Konoha. Jiang Nan said very calmly. I'm indeed not a ninja. As for coming here, of course I came to play. But I didn't expect to meet a perverted peeping Tom after just 2 rounds. It's really bad luck. Jiang Nan looked at Jiraiya with contempt. As a Sanin, Jiraiya had never suffered such anger before, and immediately began to introduce himself. Don't call me a perverted warrior. I do have a name, and I'm a very powerful person. Jiraiya stepped on his clogs rhythmically, making a bang 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 sound. I'm the Toad Sage, one of the 3 invincible ninjas in the world. Even children will stop crying when they hear my name. I'm Jiraiya-sama. Jiang Nan was still calm. It seemed that he didn't show any shock. So why do you want to be a perverted voyeur? Are you still a single dog? You look like you are 40 years old. You are not married at this time. It can't be that you can't chase the girl you like. Are you still a virgin? Chapter 53, Autistic Jiraiya. Jiraiya had never expected that this 36-degree mouth would say such cold words. He felt like he had received a 10,000 point critical hit. Even his heart couldn't help but tremble. Jiang Nan continued to take advantage of the opportunity to make up for it. No way, no way, there really can't be someone who is almost 40 and hasn't touched a girl yet. You haven't been in love yet. You haven't even held a girl's hand. Impossible. Jiraiya was autistic. He felt that his life was dark. In fact, there was once a beautiful girl who liked Jiraiya. She came from an inconspicuous ninja village called Nadeshiko Village. It was like a country of women with many beauties. The female ninja was very powerful and chased Jiraiya all the way. In the end, the two fought to a draw. There is a rule in Nadeshiko Village, that is, marriage is the bet. Jiraiya already had someone he liked in his heart, so he refused, and then threw this affair to his apprentice Naruto. At that time, Naruto coincidentally came to Nadeshiko Village, and was also confused. The one who dueled with Naruto was a very beautiful female ninja named Nadeshiko Shizuka. In the end, Naruto won and gave up the engagement. Looking at the autistic Jiraiya, Jiang Nan remembered what Master Crossing said. There was once a sincere love in front of me. Jiraiya quickly cheered up again. He felt that he could chase the girl he liked. At least in this life. Jiang Nan could only shake his head helplessly. It's a bit difficult in this life. Maybe in the next life. Anyway, I have introduced myself. I'm not a peeping Tom. I'm just using local materials. Who are you? Jiraiya asked the question in his mind. Good question. Jiang Nan became excited instantly, and his body was full of the crazy spirit of middle school student. I'm a dragon who can go up to the sky and into the earth, swim in the sea, know the past, know the future, live as long as the sky, control everything, turn my hand to make clouds, turn my hand to make rain, follow the way of heaven, in heaven and on earth. I'm the only one, the immortal of heaven, Jiang Nan. It's Jiang Nan. What a strange name. Jiang Nan's face turned black instantly. 2 words, Jiang Nan. Oh. Jiraiya scratched his head embarrassedly. By the way, what are you taking as the material? So perverted. Jiang Nan asked. When mentioning this, Jiraiya showed a confident smile. His Intimate Paradise is a best-selling book in the entire ninja world. Of course it is the material of the book I wrote. My other identity is an author, and the book I wrote has long been circulated throughout the ninja world and is the best-selling book on the bestseller list. Jiang Nan, what book? Intimate Paradise. When saying the name of the book, Jiraiya was not embarrassed at all. Jiang Nan, is it good? Jiraiya, of course. Jiang Nan, I don't believe it. Jiraiya, you still don't believe it, little brat in puberty. Let you see the world of adults. This is a field you have never explored. Jiraiya took out the latest Intimate Paradise he wrote from his arms with a mysterious look on his face. Little brat, come and see the world of adults. Jiang Nan took the Intimate Paradise from Jiraiya's hand. Open a chapter at random. Mingfei next to him leaned over and looked over. Don't get me wrong, I'm reading this with an attitude of appreciation. I'm an upright person. Jiang Nan looked at Jiraiya's wretched eyes and said very seriously. Jiraiya had a look that said I understand. The 3 of them squatted on the side of the road and read the little H book. No, it should be admiring Jiraiya's latest literary work. Jiang Nan closed the book in his hand. Projection Mingfei, why don't you read it? It's almost the climax. Jiang Nan said very seriously. If you keep reading, our book will be harmonious. Jiraiya was standing aside, like a proud rooster. I believe that I will have one more fan today. Jiang Nan put the Intimate Paradise into his private storage space. Ahem. I read this with an attitude of appreciation, and I definitely didn't wear yellow glasses, but I don't like to owe others things. You gave me such an excellent literary work when we first met. How could I not return the gift? This golden plum is given to you. This is a literary work that has been passed down through the ages and is sought after by countless literati and scholars. Oh. Jiraiya took the book handed over by Xiao Yan. He opened it and read it for a while, then closed it again. The little eyes were very smart. Good book, worthy of being a literary work. It seems that I have to go home and enjoy it in the middle of the night, but I also have another Intimate Paradise I wrote before. Jiraiya took out another book. Xiao Yan narrowed his eyes. How is the content? I have very high standards. Jiraiya patted his chest and guaranteed the top 10 on the bestseller list, guaranteed to be of excellent quality. Xiao Yan took the book and then took out another book. Although this book is not a masterpiece of ancient literature, it is very popular among young people. Basically, no one dislikes it after reading it. Oh. Jiraiya took the book and looked at the title. Female Ninja. The cover of the book is a beautiful female ninja tied up. The female ninja's eyes are full of unwillingness. Jiraiya, I have another one here. Xiao Yan also took out his collection. This tells a very beautiful story. The wife worked hard to help her husband with his work. The husband was very touched, and the wife silently paid behind her husband's back. Jiraiya took a breath and said, I have another one here. Xiao Yan, *FUTON. Mingfei just stared at the two people doing the evil pie transaction. Mingfei was just a projection, and couldn't interfere with the world here. Damn it. You can't not take me with you. The pie transaction was finally over. Both of them were very happy and got the literary works they admired. Jiraiya looked at the new books in his arms. These books can bring him a lot of inspiration, and there are some contents that he has not unlocked. It seems that my next issue of the book will become my best-selling book. The future is promising. Jiraiya will be full of energy tonight. As for the meeting, it doesn't matter whether I want it or not. After the meeting is over, I should leave again. Politics is the most troublesome. Jiraiya hates trouble and doesn't like politics. When the third generation died, many Konoha high-level officials asked him to take over the position of the fifth generation Hokage. In the end, he refused to do it and preferred to go find Tsunade, who was nowhere to be seen. I still remember the shock on Kakashi's face when he first read the book, as if he had opened the door to a new world. After that, he read it all night and read it several times. Even when he came to his senses, it was already dawn. Sure enough, it was censored. Equals vertical bar vertical bar vertical bar. Chapter 54. I'm going to hell. On the other side, in the meeting, Uchiha Fugaku represented the Uchiha clan and stood completely on the side of the fourth Hokage. All the families participated in this high-level meeting and witnessed the changes in the political world. Although they did not express their opinions, they all secretly supported the fourth Hokage. In the end, Namikaze Minato's 3 goals were almost all achieved. Orochimaru became the new leader of the route. Only the Hokage himself can mobilize the Anbu directly under the Hokage. If others want to be mobilized, they must get the order of the current Hokage. The third Hokage only left a few people he was familiar with as guards. The Uchiha clan's guard department is preparing to build a base in the central area of Konoha. However, the place where the Uchiha clan lives is still squeezed into a corner. Uchiha Fugaku and Namikaze Minato tried their best to fight for it, but the Konoha high-level officials opposed it, because most of the current Konoha high-level officials were brought up by the second generation. The second generation Hokage hates Uchiha very much, and thinks that all Uchiha are evil. Influenced by others, the Konoha high-level officials also think that Uchiha is evil. However, the two also won a lot of benefits for the Uchiha clan, and Uchiha Fugaku also had the right to intervene in politics. And as long as the fourth Hokage is there, the Uchiha clan will never be exterminated. Then slowly change. You can't eat a big fat man in one bite. And because the Pot King Danzo took all the pots, after the Konoha high-level meeting, it was unanimously decided to remove Danzo from the position of elder and the leader of the route. No matter whether he was missing or dead, as long as Danzo appeared again, he would be held accountable. After the meeting, some people were happy, and naturally some people were depressed. The third Hokage had no idea what happened. Even his best apprentice, Orochimaru, stood on the side of the fourth Hokage, although he still respected himself. Maybe I'm really old. I taught Orochimaru. He is very smart. I know maybe he can see it. And now I'm giving up power. Just retire. This era should belong to those young people. The third Hokage left with a few confidants, and it seemed that he really gave up. Although the power of the Ando is to come, some confidants still need to be cultivated by themselves. Minato Namikaze already has a candidate. For example, his student Kakashi, the son of White Fang, a genius among geniuses. He became a Jonin at the age of 12, joined the Root, joined the Anbu, and completed S-level missions several times. Unfortunately, after his death, he did not choose to continue to practice and become stronger, and fell into darkness alone. In addition, the Sharingan that could not be turned off kept consuming his chakra. This caused Hatake Kakashi to lag far behind others. You must know that Kakashi's father, Konoha White Fang, is as dazzling as the Golden Flash. If Konoha White Fang had not died, the position of the fourth Hokage might not have fallen into the hands of Minato Namikaze. A tiger father will have a dog son. Kakashi has the talent to be a Hokage, since he was a child. In the finale of Naruto, Kakashi, who used the double Kami Sharingan experience card, was as powerful as the ninja god Hashirama, and directly weakened Kaguya. Naruto and Sasuke also took this opportunity to seal Kaguya. Although the experience card was sealed, after it was used up, Kakashi later reached the level of Kage, and became the 6th Hokage. The current Sharingan is a bit of a burden for Kakashi, if it can be taken off temporarily. But Kakashi probably won't want to, but if he knew that Obito was still alive. Namikaze Minato thought of many things in his mind. The future is really changing. I must become stronger. Namikaze Minato once again resolutes his determination to become stronger. Not only for his village, but also for his family. Think about his wife Uzumaki Kushina, a hot-tempered red pepper, but sometimes very gentle. Every bit of life is so happy. Go home. Prepare well during this time. October 10th is Naruto's birthday, so you must be ready. Namikaze Minato walked on the street, and people around him greeted the 4th Hokage. The 4th Hokage responded with a smile. The 4th Hokage is very popular in the village. Minato, you are really popular. Orochimaru followed behind, his voice a little hoarse. They are all members of the village. This is a bond between us. Namikaze Minato said. Orochimaru nodded. Okay, now that things are done, I'm going to go to the Root, and accept the Root completely. Danzo is good at brainwashing, and I'm also good at it. Okay. Namikaze Minato agreed. Orochimaru made seals with both hands, and disappeared in an instant. Namikaze Minato began to think on the way home. Another day has passed, and it is closer to that day. The name Naruto is quite good. After all, he is a character in my teacher Jiraiya's novel. But I think Namikaze Menma is also nice. I will discuss it with my wife later. Naruto should be happy to have 2 names. Namikaze Minato went home happily. In fact, when Uzumaki Kushina was pregnant, the two began to think about the name of their child. It just so happened that the couple remembered the image of Naruto, the protagonist with the spirit of never giving up, in Jiraiya's debut work The Legend of the Strong and Perseverant Ninja. Therefore, when Minato proposed to name his unborn son after the protagonist of the novel, Kushina firmly supported Minato's idea, and believed that Naruto was a very good name. She and Minato both had high hopes for their son. Just when Namikaze Minato was about to get home, he heard 2 familiar voices. They were the group leader Jiangnan and Mingfei. At this time, Mingfei looked at Jiangnan with a begging face. Group leader, do you have resources to share? You can't be so selfish. This is the best-selling masterpiece in the world of Naruto. This is a good book that can soothe Kakashi's heart. Kakashi lost his best friend and killed his beloved girl with his own hands. His teacher and his wife died, and his hands were covered with blood. He relied on this thing to comfort his dark heart. I'm so curious. Jiangnan waved his hand. Go away, kids, play somewhere else. This is something for adults. Go and slay your dragon. Mingfei immediately became anxious. Don't be like that. Group leader, I just took a look at it, and I knew it was a literary work. I judge this book with an appreciative attitude. Jiangnan said righteously. This book can easily make people fall into hell. I'm doing this for your own good, Mingfei. By then, you will be as weak as Kakashi. How can you slay a dragon? Let me, the group leader, bear this hell. Lu Mingfei said immediately. As the saying goes, if I don't go to hell, who will? I'm ready to go to hell. Jiang Nan, you are really a talent. The manuscript has exceeded 60,000 words. Asterisk backquote asterisk. Asterisk I'm Tun Tun Shu. I write 10,000 words every day, post 6,000 words, and save 2 chapters. Open bracket close bracket. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55, Being a Guest. The two of them were standing on the street. One of them was eager, and the other was righteously refusing. But the people around could only see Jiang Nan. They thought he was mentally ill. Finally, the fourth Hokage came over. What are you arguing about? Jiang Nan coughed lightly. We are discussing the literary works written by your teacher. Namikaze. Minato couldn't help but think of something. As Jiraiya's apprentice, he naturally knew what book his teacher wrote. It was an enlightenment book for many people. About how to make a child. How was Naruto born? How were Naruto's 2 children born? A large part of the reason was the pot of the intimate paradise. Even in the Naruto Gaiden, Naruto continued to write the intimate paradise and directly prevented a war. It's really better than the master. Namikaze. Minato smiled reluctantly. The group leader should have nowhere to go at this time. Why don't you come to my house as a guest? My house is quite big. Jiang Nan thought about it, and it seemed that he really had no place to live. Okay. Seeing Namikaze. Minato coming, Lu Mingfei was no longer embarrassed to ask for resources. Jiang Nan followed Minato Namikaze back to his home. This is a simple 2-story building, not too big, but very warm. Minato Namikaze likes his small home very much, because his family is here. If this home can continue forever. Jiang Nan thought of the illusion world of infinite Tsukuyo Mitsunade. It was a world where the 4th Hokage did not die. The Uchiha clan was not exterminated. Although Uzumaki Naruto was naughty, he was very happy. Open the door. Minato Namikaze took off the burden, but at this moment he was no longer the 4th Hokage, but the husband of a wife. A gentle and warm man. I'm back. Minato is back. You must be very tired today. Uzumaki Kushina walked out of the room with a big belly and a gentle smile on her face. When she is not angry, this red-haired beauty is still very gentle. Minato Namikaze has a smile on his face, looking at his wife's big belly. Don't walk around casually. When you are pregnant, you should rest more. Uzumaki Kushina rolled her eyes at Minato Namikaze. I'm not that weak. Yes, yes, yes. My red pepper is the most powerful. Minato Namikaze's tone was full of doting. Uzumaki Kushina smiled shyly. Hateful. Damn beast. Jiang Nan was fed a lot of dog food as soon as he entered the door. It was the kind that was forced into his mouth. Lu Mingfei ran away decisively. His heart would be unstable if he continued to watch. Next, Minato Namikaze gently hugged Uzumaki Kushina. The two of them looked at each other affectionately. Jiang Nan coughed lightly. Uzumaki Kushina also noticed Jiang Nan standing at the door at this time. Then she punched Minato Namikaze on the head. It was not very heavy, just a casual punch, as if it was a fight between lovers. What are you doing? There are guests. Minato Namikaze smiled embarrassedly, then looked at Jiang Nan. Let me introduce you. This is my friend, Jiang Nan. Jiang Nan looked at the cheerful and enthusiastic Minato Namikaze. Damn it, you finally remembered me and said you would treat me to dinner, but you came up and stuffed me with a big mouthful of dog food. Uzumaki Kushina smiled embarrassedly. Sorry, Minato's personality is like this, a little naive. Jiang Nan nodded. Uzumaki Kushina was still very enthusiastic about Minato Namikaze's friends. It's been a long time since any friends came to visit our home. You sit down first. Uzumaki Kushina was not very convenient to cook. Namikaze Minato was busy in the kitchen. It seemed that she was bored. Uzumaki Kushina stroked her belly, and the baby inside was very energetic. Sorry, I should have been the one to cook, but I haven't been feeling well recently, so Minato can only take care of me. Jiang Nan said that he understood. Although he was a single man, he had lived to lives, and both were in the modern society with rich information. When a pregnant woman gives birth to a fetus, she will give most of the nutrients in her body to the fetus. This will cause some minor problems in pregnant women, and even some problems in the mind. For example, prenatal depression. I can see that this child will be a healthy child in the future, and will definitely be a happy child. This time, Minato will definitely protect you, Jiangnan said lightly, as if blessing. Uzumaki Kushina smiled. She is very happy now. Well, I will also protect my child. I will. Jiangnan raised a faint smile. You will become a good pair of parents. Uzumaki Kushina looked at her big belly, her eyes full of doting. When Jiangnan was watching Naruto, it has to be said that the death of the 4th generation Hokage and his wife was full of tragedy. Uzumaki Kushina saw that Jiangnan did not seem to be very old, and asked, "You don't seem to be a ninja, nor do you look like a civilian in Konoha." Jiangnan thought for a moment and spoke. "I'm indeed not a ninja. It's a coincidence that I can become friends with the 4th Hokage, but it's also good to be an ordinary person. At least I'm very happy now." Uzumaki Kushina nodded seriously. It's good to be an ordinary person. The world of ninja is too chaotic, and all kinds of fights seem to be unable to be quelled. Jiangnan seemed to be a bystander, and his voice was still so calm. Where there are people, there are rivers and lakes, and where there are rivers and lakes, there are naturally fights. Either you have invincible power to suppress everything, like the first Hokage, and use a very terrifying power to maintain peace, but such peace disappeared with the death of the first Hokage, or there is revolution and reform, and the person who leads the era appears to end this era. Just like the ninja god Hashirama ended the Warring States period. But the Naruto world still has a long way to go if it wants to usher in true peace. You know, Naruto is also jokingly called the Black Zetsu Saves His Mother story by Naruto fans. Although Naruto is a hot-blooded anime, the mastermind behind the entire ninja world is actually Black Zetsu. A child with a mother is like a treasure. A child without a mother is like a weed. In order to return to his mother's arms, Black Zetsu is making a lot of trouble. As long as this guy doesn't die, the ninja world will never be at peace. Uzumaki Kushina, who knows? You are so young, but you know so many things. Your parents must know a lot too. Jiangnan remembered his previous life, which was a very ordinary life. After traveling through time and space to the world of daily anime, he was thrown in front of the orphanage when he was conscious and became an orphan. I'm an orphan now. I grew up in an orphanage and have never seen my parents. Jiangnan spoke in a very flat tone, without any affection for the parents he had never met. Uzumaki Kushina looked a little reluctant. Sorry. Jiangnan waved his hand. It's okay, I don't care anyway. Chapter 56, Quiet Storm. Soon a table of sumptuous food was ready. It was already noon. Simple food, but very warm. Jiangnan was fed another wave of dog food while eating. He swore that he would never live here after this meal. Otherwise, he would be full of dog food. Come and have a piece of meat. Namikaze Minato picked up a piece of meat and put it in Uzumaki Kushina's bowl. You eat too. Uzumaki Kushina also added a piece of meat and put it in Namikaze Minato's bowl. You eat more. Our children also need to eat. Uzumaki Kushina nodded sweetly. Yeah. The warm atmosphere. This is home. Jiangnan really couldn't stay for this meal. After eating, Jiangnan ran away. He couldn't stay in this house for a minute, so he might as well go to the route to play with Orochimaru. Jiangnan decided that he would live in the route. Although the route base is a bit dark, it is very large and people can live in any room. Moreover, Orochimaru knew Jiangnan's true strength, so he had great respect for Jiangnan. This was respect for powerful strength. This was respect for being able to achieve his goal of immortality at will. After Orochimaru tried his best and even created the forbidden technique of the corpse reincarnation technique, consuming his own soul power, he finally touched the threshold of immortality, but Orochimaru knew too well the shortcomings of the corpse reincarnation technique. Compared to being deprived of death, being unable to die in any environment, the immortality brought by the corpse reincarnation technique is a joke. By comparison, Orochimaru once wanted to give up the corpse reincarnation technique he created. The base of the root At this time, the ninjas of the route were cleaning up the battlefield last night. Orochimaru was collecting some experimental data. Now he controls the route, but the 4th generation Hokage does not allow him to do those things without limits. Although he is not interested in those things now. Those are things of the past. They should have been eliminated by the times. Even if they are still useful, they can only be used as a reference for technological progress. Jiang Nan just appeared at the route. The surrounding ninjas immediately became alert, and they all drew out their weapons, swords, and kunai. Hello, everyone. Jiang Nan didn't care about the environment he was in. Put down your weapons. Mr. Jiang Nan is my guest. From now on, everyone seeing Jiang Nan is like seeing me. After seeing Jiang Nan suddenly appear in the route, Orochimaru said to all the ninjas of the route in a very cold tone. He didn't forget his few minutes of trip to Pluto. Orochimaru's identity is not only the second in command of the route, but also the current leader of the route. He is also one of the legendary 3 ninjas who once shined in World War II. The ninjas of the route will absolutely execute the orders of their superiors, regardless of right or wrong. I'm sorry, Mr. Jiang Nan. The ninja of the route bowed directly, and said very respectfully. Orochimaru had a smile on his face at this time, and he looked quite kind. How come Mr. Jiang Nan has time to come to my place to play? Jiang Nan knows a lot of people in the Naruto world, but few people know him. During this day, besides Minato Namikaze, I only met Orochimaru and Jiraiya. I won't mention Jiraiya. I guess after tonight, I will be too weak to get up tomorrow, so I definitely can't go to his place. Going to Minato Namikaze's house will be fed dog food, and Jiang Nan will not go. After thinking about it, Orochimaru is the only good choice. Of course I'll stay here for 2 days. Come and play with you. Orochimaru looked at Jiang Nan's casual attitude. Why did he feel that Jiang Nan came here for a tour, and he came to the route for a tour? What is his own route like? Dark, evil, not in the light, killing without blinking, very hard training, many talents, professional brainwashing. Is this place suitable for tourism? Although Orochimaru has the idea of turning this place into a scientific laboratory for studying organisms and exploring mysteries, it has just started now, and the route is still so dark. But Orochimaru still agreed to let Jiang Nan live in the route. Although there are many secrets in the route, I guess these secrets are not worth checking in front of the real strong. After all, who would have nothing to do to record the secrets of an ant nest? Orochimaru, Mr. Jiang Nan, I will arrange it for you. Jiang Nan, okay. There are many rooms in the route, and these rooms are where the route members live. Except for missions, the route ninjas are on standby in the route. Soon, a room was cleaned up. It was a very clean room. Jiang Nan lived here. Usually when he is free, he can take a look at the training of the route. Watch Orochimaru doing research. It is quiet before the storm. On October 10th, Naruto's birthday, the Nine-Tails Rebellion began. But this time, Minato Namikaze prepared a lot, and I don't know if Obito can still do it. The Uchiha clan has now summoned Shizu back. 2 strong men with Manjaki Sharingan fight against Uchiha Obito, the one-eyed god. Thinking about that scene, it feels interesting. It's a new day again. The training of the route is similar to that of the ninja school. The ninjas here are also trained from childhood. It's just different from teaching the will of fire. It's more like pyramid selling and brainwashing. This is a group of dead soldiers with no future. They may die at any time while performing their missions. They do things without justice, only according to the orders of their superiors. The ninjas of the route are fighting and training crazily in the training ground. Jiang Nan sat next to them and watched. In training, the ninjas of the route do not wear masks. In another training ground, the ninjas are training shuriken. The wooden stakes are fixed by countless shurikens. Orochimaru came over from not far away at this time, followed by a child about 10 years old. Mr. Jiang Nan, what do you think of these children? The route will no longer restrict them in the future, and it does not need to be too dark. After these children mature, those who are willing to stay in the route will stay, and those who are willing to go to the dark department can also go to the dark department. Of course, if they are willing to become ninjas in the village, I will not restrict them. The route now is more like a training base for ninjas. After the 3 wars, many ninjas in the village have been lost, and there is no shortage of powerful ninjas, so now there is an urgent need to train a group of excellent ninjas to protect the village. The roots of a big tree are used to nourish the big tree, not to rot the big tree. Roots provide nutrients for trees, making them healthier and stronger. This is the original appearance of roots. Danzo is a jerk. When pain invaded Konoha, he didn't come out in order to preserve his strength and fight for the position of Hokage. If Naruto hadn't saved the situation in time, Nagato would have used the Samsara technique before his death. Even if Danzo had won the position of Hokage, he would have been a commander without troops, and Konoha village would have been destroyed. Chapter 57, Orochimaru's Plan. During the Third Ninja World War, many talents emerged. Golden Flash Minato Namikaze. Instant Body Shizu. But even so, a large number of ninjas still died on the battlefield. No matter how good the two of them are, they can never be compared to a village. The Third World War had just ended, and Konoha's ninjas were unprecedentedly vacant. After discussing with Orochimaru, Minato Namikaze decided to implement the policy of training ninjas first. The vacancy of Konoha village ninjas must be supplemented. Otherwise, the title of the first ninja village may be taken away. Think about the bad things that the third generation did after he came to power again. After the Third World War, there were already fewer ninjas in the village. As a result, the first family of Konoha village was destroyed. No wonder the Hidden Cloud village dared to kidnap the White-Eye Princess of the Hyuga family. The weakest sand village in the desert dared to declare war on Konoha. It is conceivable how weak Konoha was at the beginning of the plot, and the ninjas that could be used either ran away or escaped. These things that Orochimaru said seemed casual, but they were actually the secrets of Konoha village. Can't tell others. But Orochimaru didn't care. Jiangnan nodded. These are also politics. Come on, you have your own way. I'm embarrassed to interfere. Anyway, I'm optimistic about you. Orochimaru licked his lips, and the 10-year-old child behind him looked at Jiangnan, who was not much older than him, and then looked at his new leader, who was rumored to be extremely cold and murderous. He was one of the three people, the second in command of the route, and the current leader of the route, Orochimaru. His respectful look made the 10-year-old child unable to understand. Jiangnan tilted his head and looked at the 10-year-old child. He looked familiar. Who is this little guy? He is a ninja of the route. His name is Jaya. He is the product of an experiment I once had. Don't underestimate this child. This child is the only one who inherited the would release blood limit. Jiangnan seemed to remember this guy. No wonder he looks so familiar. This 10-year-old child is the future real estate boss, Yamato. Hello, Jiangnan. I'm the ninja of the route, Jaya. Yamato bowed slightly to show his respect. Not bad, not bad. You plan to train him yourself? Orochimaru nodded. He is different from others. He has the talent of God in his body. Ordinary training is not very useful for him. Would release blood limit is very powerful. Even if you can't reach the realm of the god of ninja, it is still no problem to become an elite jonin. So Orochimaru wants to help him develop his own would release blood limit. In this case, Yamato's training will be separated from others. And Yamato was created by Orochimaru, and Orochimaru knows this child very well. So how is the training? Can you do the 3 rooms and 1 hall technique? Orochimaru, does would release have this trick? Orochimaru looked puzzled, but he still said, it's not ideal. Although he has would release, he is still too weak compared to the god of ninja, the first generation Hokage. Jiangnan thought of Hashirama, the wood dragon Buddha who fought against Shikoku alone. The most important thing is the Sage Mode. He can enter Sage Mode in seconds, and it lasts for a very long time, enough to fight a war. The amount of chakra in his body is ridiculous. He was still saying that the Ninetales was too dangerous the previous second. The next second he just lifted it up and sealed it. The Ninetales was speechless. Jiangnan thought for a while and spoke. Then keep going. I'm rooting for you. Orochimaru, aren't you developing Sage Mode? What about the Heaven Curse and the Earth Curse? You can make one for A, so that the real low profile version of the god of ninja will be complete. Why is Hashirama so strong? That's because Sage Mode can communicate with the natural chakra of nature, which can make oneself very powerful. Orochimaru glanced at A. This is a good idea, but I still need to improve the curse seal. Now the chance of survival for those who are cursed is only 1/10. When it is more perfect. Yamato suddenly shuddered. The look in Orochimaru's eyes just now was full of enthusiasm and research. He remembered that he was looked at like this when he was a child. It seems that he will do some experiments on himself again. He seemed to notice Yamato's fearful look. Don't worry, Jaya, you are the only child who survived. I will not let you die so easily. Your future will bring back the glory of the god of ninja. Don't forget your dream. When you are truly qualified, you can leave the route and become a dazzling existence in Konoha. Orochimaru said so and thought so. Now he doesn't care much about Hashiruma's power. He wants to study the power that surpasses the god of ninja. The depression in Yamato's eyes was swept away instantly. I understand. Jiangnan felt that Orochimaru was fooling Yamato. Mr. Jiangnan, I won't talk to you anymore. I'm going to take this child to train. I'm going to. But Jiangnan followed him. Before the Ninetales rebellion broke out, Konoha should have been very peaceful. This is called the calm before the storm. Yamato's childhood was not happy. It is well known that Orochimaru was a villain in the past, and Danzo was not a good thing either. The two hit it off and started to do evil experiments. Inject Hashirama cells into the baby. When Yamato was a baby, he was implanted with Hashirama cells as an experiment of Orochimaru for cultivation. Because the young body lacked enough endurance to withstand the power of Hashirama cells, the other 59 test subjects died one after another during the same period, and he was abandoned by Orochimaru as a failed experiment. But in the end, his will to survive made him survive tenaciously, and he was fortunately discovered by Shimura Danzo and saved from death. Because he witnessed the tragic fate of many other experimental children who died one after another in his childhood, he had a strong desire to protect when he was a child, but he could not realize it because of the fate of the test subjects at the mercy of others, leaving an indelible mark of pain in his heart. After experiencing the tragic experiment process, as the only survivor, he withstood the power of the transplanted Hashirama cells in his body, and thus inherited the blood limit of the first generation of Hokage. In the original plot, at the age of 10, Jaya had become a capable subordinate of Danzo with his mastery of the wood release ability. After the death of the fourth Hokage, Namikaze Minato, Danzo was dissatisfied with the return of the third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was a stable and healthy Hokage, to power. He sent Kazuo and other root ninjas to assassinate the third Hokage. During the assassination, he fought with Hatake Kakashi and was knocked down by Kakashi, but was let go by the other party because Kakashi knew that his would release ninjutsu was of extraordinary importance to the future of Konohagakure. Later, with the help of the third Hokage, Yamato left the route, joined the Anbu, and called himself Tenzo. Later, he also served as the captain of the 7th team. That is, Naruto's captain. Chapter 58, Wood Release. The Forest of Konoha. If you practice wood release here, no one will disturb you. Orochimaru and the other two came here. This is almost the same. Orochimaru took out a notebook and started to record data. Yamato took out the wood release ninjutsu scroll. His wood release basically came from the ninja scroll written by Hashirama. Jiangnan took out the intimate paradise. Orochimaru took a look at the book in Jiangnan's hand. Isn't this written by Jiraiya? Jiangnan nodded. I have to say that this old virgin is a talent in writing small H articles. Orochimaru thought of Jiraiya, the last one. This guy, Jiangnan said with a smile. When I saw him, he happened to be peeping into the women's bathhouse, and I kicked him in with one foot. Orochimaru was very troubled by his team, and his teammates who were also 3 ninjas. Jiraiya used to be a last one, and he didn't do anything serious since he was a child. Jiangnan seemed to think of something interesting and spoke. It's like you 3 ninjas are so normal. Konoha's big fat sheep always loses every time he gambles. The lecherous sage Jiraiya peeks into the female bathhouse all day long, and the perverted mad scientist is even planning to transform himself. Orochimaru did have that idea, but now he wants to wait until the scientific and biological research is more mature before he cuts himself. The non-corpse reincarnation technique will also be used after it is more complete. Hey, it seems that Mr. Jiangnan has misunderstood me. I'm just exploring this unknown world. Mr. Jiangnan made me see my insignificance. The vast universe is so grand. In my opinion, it is the ninja world of the whole world. Under this sky full of stars, I'm just a tiny grain of dust. I still have a long way to go. Fighting is a meaningless struggle in my opinion. Jiang Nan said that Orochimaru is really becoming more and more like a great scientist. After Yamato finished reading the contents of the ninja scroll, he began training. First, he made an unskilled hand seal. Yamato is not at the level of Hashirama yet. He can do whatever he wants with a clap of his hands. Whose real ninja hand seal is this? Kisame said, me. After completing the seal, Yamato clapped his hands. Wood style, violent spear tree. Several wooden vines twisted and broke out of the ground. Then they fell to the ground, as if they had gone limp. This move should have bound the enemy and formed a towering tree. But Yamato made a small sapling. Wood style, wood wall. Yamato decided to start with the simplest one. Wood style, wood wall is a defensive ninjutsu. A row of wooden pillars bent from the ground to form an arch to protect itself. Several wooden pillars broke out of the ground and formed a semicircular wall. Wood style, wood clone. Orochimaru occasionally glanced at it and began to point out Yamato's mistakes. As a research-loving Orochimaru, he had thoroughly understood the power brought by Hashirama cells when he was studying Hashirama cells. So he was qualified to use his experience to guide Yamato. After the training, Yamato was sweating profusely and the chakra in his body was almost dry. Orochimaru directly took out the Shakugan. Let's continue practicing. It was still boring. After watching for a while, Jiang Nan was going to eat some food. Although he is no longer hungry now, his taste buds are still there. Delicious food is a spiritual comfort. The most famous delicacy in Konoha village is Ichiraku ramen, which Naruto likes the most. It is unreasonable not to eat a bowl of Ichiraku ramen when you come to Konoha. It's like going to a celebrity check-in place, but not checking in. Going to a tourist attraction, but not seeing the beautiful scenery. The powerful divine thoughts covered the entire Konoha village like a radar. Found it. Jiang Nan said hello to Orochimaru and left. In an instant, Jiang Nan disappeared. When he appeared again, he had arrived at the bustling streets of Konoha village. There will be more than 10 years of peace after the end of the Third World War. Then the Fourth World War will begin. The Third World War has just ended and everything is in ruins. At this time, a small ramen restaurant is busy. On this street, this ramen restaurant does not seem to be very conspicuous, but Jiang Nan knows that this is the ramen restaurant that runs through the entire Naruto. Not only is it Naruto's favorite food, but it is also a noodle restaurant that has survived many wars and battles. Konoha's collapse plan, Pain's invasion, rebel ninja invasion, ninja battles. Almost all of Konoha was destroyed, but this small noodle shop was still fine. After Boruto's transfer, it opened a chain of branches. Because it was too lucky, or too bizarre. Some people suspect that the owner of the ramen shop is actually the real super boss. There is even a so-called Otsutsuki Ichiraku. Of course, these are all nicknames for fans. In fact, in the setting of Naruto, the real name of the owner of Ichiraku Ramen is Handbeat. He is a boss who focuses on food. And he said that smile is the best seasoning for Ichiraku ramen. In the future of the original plot, the boss of Handbeat met the cooking ninja and finally defeated the cooking ninja with the help of Sakura and Naruto. And the boss of Ichiraku is also one of the few people in Konoha village who does not hate Naruto. Came to the small shop of Ichiraku ramen. The boss of Ichiraku smiled. Customer, what do you want? Jiang Nan waved his hand. Make me your most popular and delicious ramen. The boss of Ichiraku smiled slightly. It looks like this is the first time for the customer. Don't worry, I promise you will be satisfied. Turning around, the boss of Ichiraku said loudly, Aim, a customer is here. A cute little girl came out from the back kitchen. She was wearing an apron and a headscarf, and she was very cute and beautiful. This child has been gentle since she was young. Got it, Dad? Aim is the mascot and the signature of Ichiraku ramen shop. 10 minutes later, a big bowl of ramen came up. Jiang Nan looked at the ramen in front of him, which was delicious. I'm going to eat. Jiang Nan picked up the chopsticks and began to taste the ramen. It was fragrant, the ramen was chewy, and the soup was more flavorful. Not bad, not bad. What's more important is the heart in this food. Only food made with heart is the best. I feel your heart, boss. The boss of Ichiraku is notoriously stubborn and dedicated. He has been obsessed with ramen for decades. Every day, he creates delicious food with exquisite ingredients, skilled techniques and emotions. Even without the daughter Aim, who is the shop's signature, there is still a constant stream of customers, because the real signature of the shop is a wonderful taste that has reached the state of art. Jiangnan finished a bowl of ramen and just wanted to come back for more. Another bowl, boss. This is a recognition of the boss's cooking skills. Okay, customer. Ichiraku ramen is indeed excellent, and you won't feel sick, even if you eat too much. You can feel the boss's love for food. No wonder there are so many people participating in the future eating contest. But what people didn't expect was that Hinata won the championship of the eating contest. Chapter 59, Daily Life. Simple daily life is full of happiness. Mingfei also ran over. Although his strength is a little weak, Mingfei also has his own purpose in coming to the Naruto world. That is to learn the shadow clone technique. As for the reason, that is to find someone to go to school for him, so that he can go out and have fun. He can also use the shadow clone technique to deal with his aunt and others. And with the multiple shadow clone technique, he can also practice with the number of people. This is the purpose of Mingfei's visit this time. He is too weak and must find a way to become stronger quickly. The shadow clone technique and multiple shadow clone technique in the Naruto world are a good choice. The multiple shadow clone technique is one of the signature moves of Naruto, the protagonist of the Naruto world. With the super powerful chakra amount, it is not tiring to directly divide hundreds or thousands of clones. But not everyone is like the protagonist Naruto, who has tons of chakra. The multiple shadow clone technique is a forbidden technique, which consumes too much chakra and can easily tire people to death. At this time, Ichiraku Ramen Restaurant. Jiangnan looked at Mingfei, who was eating in big mouthfuls. How many bowls have you had? Are you going to bankrupt me? Mingfei muttered with his mouth full of ramen. I didn't succeed last time. I must make up for it this time. Jiangnan felt that this child was hopeless. By the way, do you have chakra? Come and learn the shadow clone technique. Mingfei swallowed the food in his mouth with difficulty. It's okay, I'm a cultivator. I'm at the 3rd level of key training. My talent is not that good. And then I spent 200 points in the group mall to buy an energy converter, which can convert energy from different systems to each other. I can convert the spiritual power in my body into chakra, so that I can learn the power of other systems. I can also convert the spiritual power in my body into magic to learn magic. I have been looking for this for a long time. Mingfei wore a watch-like thing on his wrist, which didn't seem too conspicuous. The energy converter actually allows people from another system to learn the tricks and power of other systems. But the end of countless systems actually points to the avenue of heaven and earth. This thing is more convenient to use when you are weak. When you become strong enough and walk your own path, you can control your own energy and learn the power of various systems. Last time, didn't you recommend me to practice key refining Ju? I looked it up in the mall. The key refining Ju in the key refining period is only 100 points, which can allow me to practice to the foundation building stage. After the foundation building stage, I can open up the Ren and Du meridians and the 8 extraordinary meridians, fly objects, practice powerful spells, and now I can also do a small fireball spell. The immortal cultivation system is a very grand system. It also derives many professions. And the path of cultivation. Physical cultivation, sword cultivation, martial arts cultivation, knife cultivation, art cultivation, magic cultivation, and magic cultivation. Secondary occupations. Alchemist, talisman maker, weapon refiner, array master. However, Mingfei has not chosen the path of these professions yet. He is only at the 3rd level of key refining now, and there is still a long way to go. During the time when he joined the chat group, in addition to practicing breathing methods with Mr. Yuan IE, Mingfei also bought spirit stones to practice immortal cultivation. The 4th Hokage was very busy during this period, because as time goes by, his child will be born. There is no time to teach Mingfei. Jiangnan can learn ninjutsu in one go, but he doesn't want to learn this kind of little thing. So Jiangnan handed Mingfei directly to Orochimaru. Orochimaru instantly felt a hidden energy in Mingfei's body. This is a monster, and he likes to study monsters. In this way, Mingfei was forcibly dragged away by Orochimaru. Before leaving, Orochimaru's eyes were full of fanaticism. Mingfei's eyes were full of sadness. Jiang Nan could only say comfortingly, "Relax Mingfei, Orochimaru will definitely train you well. Just tell him what you want to learn. You play in the wild." Mingfei disappeared in the route. Orochimaru is one of the 3 ninjas, a shadow level strongman. If Mingfei didn't make a deal with his brother, the little devil, he would not be Orochimaru's opponent at all. The 3rd level of ki training is still too weak, and the small fireball technique is not as good as the great fireball technique of a lone ninja. Jiang Nan couldn't help but sigh that he was such a good group leader. Orochimaru and modern Mingfei must have a lot in common. And as time goes by, Mingfei will awaken the physique of mixed blood. Orochimaru must be very interested in dragons. A few days later, Mingfei ran away and said that he was not clean. Although I don't know what Orochimaru did to him, he must have participated in various experiments. It is certain that he was seen naked. The little eyes, before leaving, were so melancholy. However, it is worth mentioning that Mingfei did learn the technique of multiple shadow clones, and the spiritual power cultivated by Mingfei also provided an idea for the immortal arts studied by Orochimaru. The spiritual energy cultivated by immortals is actually a kind of natural force of heaven and earth. This is similar to the immortal chakra in the ninja world. Orochimaru has been soaking in his laboratory these days. Jiang Nan occasionally went to see Orochimaru, who had become crazy, and looked at various data with bloodshot eyes, and draw Mingfei's blood. Mingfei's blood seems to be highly infectious, and can infect other blood. Even if it is thick enough, it can mutate a person. Looking at all kinds of data, Orochimaru hasn't slept for a long time, and he hasn't even taken care of his appearance. He looks like a crazy scientist. Fortunately, the route has its own set of operating rules, and it can still do what it should do without the leader. Jiang Nan was not interested in this experiment, and continued to wander around Konoha, eat, drink, and play. Then he met Kei, who was in training. Kei, who was almost kicked out of the finale in the future, was still a tail end, a young boy. In the world of Naruto, never underestimate the tail end, because they are often very powerful. Obito was the tail end, but he directly started the 4th war, and he himself was the second 6 paths besides the 6 paths sage. Uzumaki Naruto, the savior of the ninja world, the best in the class, almost failed the Genin test, but in the end he fought against various bosses, including the 6 paths class, 6 paths Obito, Kaguya Otsutsuki, and Takemiya Sasuke, and even won the most outrageous ones. The last one, a perennial genin, Gei's father, Might Day, does not know any ninjutsu or genjutsu, but with his taijutsu and the 8 gates, he directly kicked to death 4 of the 7 ninja swordsmen who were said to be able to kill cage-level strongmen. The 3 who survived were scared to death, and also changed the current situation, that Konoha's taijutsu ninjas could not become jonin. So don't underestimate the last one. At this time, Gei was wearing a green leather tights and shouting slogans. "This is youth. Come on. Run 100 laps around Konoha today." Chapter 60, The Crisis Begins. October 10, 48th year of Konoha. It seems like an ordinary day, but in fact the crisis has come. This day is the day when Uzumaki Kushina is about to give birth. On this day, the seal of the Nine Tails will become fragile. At this time, at the residence of the Uchiha clan, Shunshin Shizu has returned. He and the head of the Uchiha clan are sitting opposite each other at the tea table. 2 pairs of Mangekyo Sharingan are constantly rotating. "Shizu, today Uzumaki Kushina will give birth, and the seal of the Nine Tails will become unstable. Now is the opportunity for our Uchiha clan to ease the conflict with the villagers in the village. You should have seen what happened in the village recently. Our Uchiha clan finally won recognition. The 4th Hokage allowed us to join the political world again, but others still opposed it, so your next task is to protect the 4th Hokage. This is for the future of our Uchiha clan." Uchiha Shizu actually felt the situation that the Uchiha clan has been in for a long time. But in the past half month, the situation of the Uchiha clan has suddenly changed for the better, and the reason for all this is because of the 4th Hokage. Konoha guards began to enforce the law in an open and transparent manner. Konoha villagers began to have a better impression of the Uchiha clan, and Konoha's top leaders did not openly target the Uchiha clan. Everything was developing in a good direction. Shisu, a peace-loving young man, was really happy and pleased with this change. As long as the situation continued to ease, the Uchiha clan would once again truly integrate into Konoha. The most critical link was the 4th Hokage. The Uchiha clan stood on the side of the 4th Hokage, and the 4th Hokage helped them and allowed them to truly integrate. Don't worry, even if the clan leader sacrificed my life, I would never let the 4th Hokage get into trouble. Fugaku nodded. Go. Shisu, your mission is more difficult than mine. For the peace of Konoha and the future of Uchiha. Uchiha Shisu nodded, his eyes full of seriousness. The next moment Shisu disappeared. This instantaneous body flickering technique has reached a superb level. A few minutes later, Uchiha Makoto walked in, holding Sasuke, who was born not long ago. Will there really be an accident? Uchiha Fugaku said after a moment of silence. It's always good to be vigilant. Konoha can't stand it anymore, and our Uchiha clan finally got the support of the Hokage. We can't miss this opportunity again. The Uchiha clan has been excluded by Konoha because of the betrayal of their ancestor Uchiha-ban, especially when the 2nd generation was in power. Now there is finally an opportunity, and the Uchiha clan will definitely not miss it. Even Shisu, who opened the Mangekyou Sharingan, was sent for this. The Ninetales Jinchuriki Uzumaki Kushina is about to give birth, and the Konoha high-level officials attach great importance to it. Because during the pregnancy of a female Jinchuriki, the energy of the seal, to suppress the tailed beast is used to nurture the fetus, which will cause the seal to weaken. The seal was almost released when Mito gave birth before. The Konoha high-level officials proposed to set up a delivery room outside the village, and it would be protected by a strict barrier and many Enbu masters directly under the jurisdiction of the Hokage. The wife of the 3rd generation, Biwako Sarutobi, and another female ninja from the Anbu, Taji, served as midwives, while Minato would accompany her to protect Kushina and keep the seal from being opened. Shisu was also the one being protected, and he also hid his identity. This was what Minato Namikaze asked him to do when he met Minato Namikaze before. The reason was simple, to attract people hiding in the dark. In the 3rd war, Shisu, who could move instantly, was as famous as the Golden Flash. Ninjas from other ninja villages just had to run away when they saw him. Shisu agreed. Outside Konoha village, several Anbu opened a barrier here. There were dozens of ninjas hiding around. Even Kakashi came here. Inside the room, on a single bed, Uzumaki Kushina had a very painful expression, and traces of the seal had already appeared on her stomach. Minato Namikaze put his hand on the seal with a worried look on his face to maintain the seal. The midwife and Biwako Sarutobi were ready to deliver the baby at any time. But the pain of giving birth was still too painful. Looking at his hard-working wife, Minato Namikaze was really distressed. Thinking of what happened next, Minato Namikaze's eyes turned cold. He would never allow the original fate to happen again, and his wife would never die. It hurts. Minato Namikaze had never heard Uzumaki Kushina scream so loudly. The two were comrades in arms who fought side by side before they got married. When fighting, they would occasionally get injured. But no matter how serious the injury was, Uzumaki Kushina never screamed in pain like that. Are you really okay? This is the first time I've seen Kushina scream in pain like this. Sarutobi was speechless. This is how women give birth. It's okay. Your first priority is to take care of the seal of the Ninetales, and as the 4th Hokage, you shouldn't be so panicked. Well, Kushina, hold on. Minato Namikaze began to cheer her up. As Kushina Uzumaki was approaching labor, the seal of the Ninetales in her body began to loosen gradually. In the sealed space of Uzumaki Kushina, the Ninetales was fixed on a huge stone. The limbs, stomach and Ninetales were all firmly fixed. Countless diamond chains were wrapped around the Ninetales. This was worse than being sealed in Naruto's body. At least in Naruto's body, it was locked in a cage and could move. As the seal loosened, the wooden stakes nailed into the Ninetales' body began to move outward. The chains began to become unstable. The Ninetales began to roar wildly and tried to break free from the seal. Namikaze Minato felt the power coming from his hands, and the Ninetales wanted to break free from the seal. Sorry, Ninetales, It's not time for you to come out yet. Wait until this matter is over. Namikaze Minato said in his heart. After watching Naruto, he also understood the truth of this world. He understood that the existence of the Nine Tails was created by the Six Paths Sage who dispersed the Ten Tails chakra. The Nine Tails is not a disaster, nor a demon, and can be reconciled. At this time, an uninvited guest had come outside the door. In front of the huge red arch, several Anbu ninjas who were guarding fell to the ground. It was unknown whether they were dead or alive. A man in a black robe with an unclear face stood in front of the door. It was he who killed the guards here. Under the moonlight, he was wearing a one-eye mask with strange patterns on his face. After dealing with the guards around him, the masked man began to move forward. Just after taking 2 steps, an angry voice came from above his head. What on earth did you do? Uchiha Shizu came here. Looking at the corpses of the Anbu around him, and the mysterious man wearing a mask, Shizu was surprisingly angry. I didn't expect that someone would dare to make trouble at this critical moment. If the Nine Tails was really released, it would be a disaster. Chapter 61. Growth. Jiangnan sat on the highest electric pole in Konoha village. The moon was in the sky. Jiangnan quietly watched the battle outside Konoha village. It would be great if I could do it. Oh, my group members are so worry-free that sometimes it's a headache. Fighting and growing up, only after experiencing hardships and difficulties can you become stronger. It is better to teach a man how to fish than to give him a fish. Namikaze Minato understood this truth, so he just hoped that the group leader could guarantee a bottom line. He would solve the other things and find a way. The reason for this is that after all, the group leader Jiangnan is not from this world and will leave eventually. And Namikaze Minato can't rely on others for all the difficult things in his life. If you rely on the mountain will fall. And if you rely on people will run away. When the real difficulties come, you can only rely on yourself. Uchiha Shizu, his eyes are very cold. Everyone was angry during the Third Ninja World War. Although it just ended, the anger is definitely not gone. Taking advantage of the Jinchuriki to launch a sneak attack when he is giving birth is something the enemy can do. Once the Nine Tails is released, it will be a very troublesome thing. But when Uchiha Shizu saw the eyes under the mask of the man in black clearly, he was stunned. Then his face turned extremely blue. The murderous intent in his eyes became crazy. This masked man must die. Because Uchiha Shizu saw a Sharingan, or 3 Magatama Sharingan, in the whole of the single eye mask. The man who killed the Anbu and was about to attack the Jinchuriki turned out to be a member of the Uchiha clan. If this matter is known by the people in Konoha's upper echelons, then the Uchiha, who has finally gotten a little better, will have to return to the kind of life of being excluded. Uchiha Shizu will never allow such a thing. So no matter whether the man in front of him is a member of the Uchiha clan or not, he must die. Because of Uchiha Madara's betrayal, the Uchiha clan of Konoha has been excluded and suppressed. If someone betrays again and releases the Nine Tails, it will cause a lot of damage to Konoha village and even cause the tragic deaths of countless ordinary villagers. Then Uchiha Shizu dare not imagine the consequences. Maybe even the 4th Hokage cannot ease this relationship. Fire escape. Phoenix fire technique. After understanding the pros and cons, Uchiha Shizu took action. He was very glad that Uchiha Fugaku sent him to protect Namikaze Minato this time. If the 4th Hokage noticed that the masked man was from the Uchiha clan, he would probably stop helping the Uchiha clan. Thinking of this, Uchiha Shizu became more determined to kill the man in front of him. He must not let this man in front of him disturb the 4th Hokage and the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Flames rushed towards the masked man. The masked man, Obito, instantly became hollow. The flames penetrated his body and fell into the water in the distance. What kind of ability is this? Uchiha Shizu seemed to have never seen this ability before. Although the attack just now was a test, it was not something that an ordinary ninja could withstand. Uchiha Shizu. Uchiha Obito instantly recognized the person coming, but he still did not retreat. With Hashirama cells, he can frequently use his main Jiki Sharingan. He doesn't think he will lose. And he wants to completely destroy this false world. He wants to create a world with Lin. He wants to create a happy world. A fake world. Everything is fake. Jiangnan smiled at the 2 people who did not flinch. Uchiha Shizu. Uchiha Obito. Both of them have Manjaki Sharingan, and their strength is almost at the level of Cage. The Uchiha are really talented. Jiang Nan's tone was full of interest. Uchiha Shizu jumped lightly and fell from the sky. The weapon in his hand was a short sword. This short sword has been with him for a long time. It was also the weapon that made him famous in the 3 wars. With a slash of the sword, Uchiha Shizu turned into a shadow. It was too fast. This sword was enough to kill people before they could react. The sword light passed through Uchiha Obito's body. However, Uchiha Shizu did not feel that he had cut anything. The two passed each other. A chain surrounded Uchiha Shizu's body. It seemed to feel the flow of the wind. Uchiha Shizu immediately raised the short sword to block his chest. The next second, the short sword and the chain collided with each other, producing countless sparks. Kakaka. The next second, Uchiha Shizu disappeared in an instant. What a strange ninjutsu. What is real and what is virtual? Uchiha Shizu's figure appeared again in the distance. His eyes had turned into Manjaki Sharingan. The same was true for Uchiha Obito. After looking at each other, Uchiha Shizu's pupils shook and asked, Manjaki Sharingan, who are you? Uchiha Shizu encountered too many shocking things tonight. He didn't expect that in addition to himself and the clan leader Fugaku, he could also encounter a Sharingan that opened the Manjaki. Obito's voice was a little hoarse. I'm the ghost of Uchiha, you can call me Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Shizu was shocked again. There are so many shocks tonight. Uchiha Madara's name can almost be said to be resounding throughout the ninja world. He is the ancestor of the Uchiha clan, a powerful existence as famous as the god of ninja. There are still statues of the two in the Valley of the End. Konoha village was founded by the two. It was also the two who ended the Warring States era and opened the era of ninja villages. The system of one country and one ninja village was established. But later Uchiha Madara betrayed Konoha, which also led to the death of the ninja god Hashirama. The Konoha Uchiha clan was constantly excluded because of this. The second generation Hokage originally believed that the Uchiha clan was evil, and now Uchiha Madara's betrayal made the second generation Hokage hate the Uchiha clan even more. Although in order to appease the Uchiha clan was given a lot of power, but under constant exclusion, the Uchiha clan eventually stayed away from the politics of the village. Uchiha Shizu opened the Manjaki Sharingan and is now the apparent genius of the Uchiha clan. Naturally, he knows a lot of things, including his ancestor Uchiha Madara. It's impossible that Uchiha Madara has already died. Who are you? Why are you pretending to be Uchiha Madara? Uchiha Shizu held the short sword across his chest, his eyes full of murderous intent. Didn't I say it? I'm Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Obito's tone was still very calm, as if he was stating a fact. Do you think I will believe it? Uchiha Madara died in the battle of betrayal. Forget it, it doesn't matter. Anyway, you will die tonight. Uchiha Shizu became serious. Countless figures gradually flashed around. They were all Uchiha Shizu, and they were not shadow clones, but entities. Through the combination of fast instant body and illusion created by Sharingan, all clones could attack as fast as the original body. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62, Kaleidoscope Battle. Swords and Shadows. The superb instant body technique, coupled with the extremely terrifying sword technique. The dense sword shadows formed a large net one after another. However, these attacks were useless in front of the virtualized Uchiha Obito. Another quick slash passed through Uchiha Obito's body. It would not be a problem if it continued like this. Uchiha Shizu moved away from the battlefield in an instant. Space Ninjutsu. The four-cornered windmill Manjaki Sharingan and the three-sickle windmill Manjaki Sharingan looked at each other. After this simple fight, Uchiha Shizu also understood the difficulty of his opponent. This kind of space ninjutsu that can be virtualized, he can't break it at all. The legendary instant body Shizu is just like this. In my opinion, it is just a false name. Uchiha Obito said coldly with the chain in his hand. Uchiha Shizu was not angry, but the murderous intent in his eyes became deeper. This kind of enemy must not be left behind. It is too dangerous. Fire escape. Great fireball technique. Uchiha Shizu quickly formed seals with both hands and spit out a nearly 5-meter long fireball. The fireball rushed towards Uchiha Obito, who didn't even dodge and directly use the hollow. The flames exploded, and the ground was burned black by the flames. Uchiha Obito stood there without any damage. Ninjutsu, swordsmanship, and physical skills are useless. Then only illusions are left. The Uchiha clan's Sharingan is also very terrifying in the field of illusions. But the Mangekyou Sharingan has a very high resistance to illusions. This is why Uchiha Shizu didn't use illusions on Uchiha Obito, but now there is no other means of attack. If illusions don't work, Uchiha Shizu will use his strongest skill, Katamatsukami, to directly change Uchiha Obito's will and make him commit suicide. Uchiha Shizu, who has the strongest illusion Katamatsukami, also has a deep understanding of illusions. He can even launch illusions without others looking into his eyes, and it is a long-distance illusion. In the Third War, Uchiha Shizu used this long-range illusion to directly force back the Kurigakure Ninja Village AO squad. If it weren't for the Captain AO who had the Byakugan, it would probably be unknown who released the illusion from a distance. Magical illusion, Narakusein technique. Uchiha Shizu made seals with both hands, and blood flowed from his Mangekyou Sharingan. Regardless of one's will, everyone has a scene in their heart that they have always been afraid of and don't want to see. This illusion is to use everyone's fear to make it materialize and make people feel that it is reality. In other words, the greater the fear in the heart of the caster, the stronger the impact of this technique. Uchiha Obito trembled, as if he saw something, and couldn't help but take 2 steps back, but the next moment he roared madly. It's all fake, even this world is fake. It took less than 2 seconds for Uchiha Obito to break free from the illusion. Sure enough, the illusion is useful to you. Uchiha Shizu continued to make seals with both hands. He just used an ordinary D-level illusion. After finding the idea of attack, Uchiha Shizu launched the attack. Uchiha Obito also knew that his Kamu's weakness had been discovered, so he also became serious. Would release Hell's Chaos. Obito quickly formed a seal. Would release Hell's Chaos is to use would release to create several large trees full of thorns, which spiral up and entangle the enemy and can cause devastating damage to a large range of enemies. After Obito went berserk, he used it on the Kurigakure Anbu, killing all the Kurigakure ninjas. Everyone's blood dripped on the ground, and the ground was a veritable river of blood. Countless thorns grew under Uchiha Shizu's feet. These thorny vines wanted to strangle him, but Uchiha Shizu's speed was too fast, and these vines couldn't entangle him at all. Would release. Uchiha Shizu thought that he had seen enough shocks tonight, but he didn't expect to witness the bloodline limit of the ninja god Hashirama again. Would release. Would release. Cutting technique. Uchiha Obito's figure shuttled through the vines, and countless wooden thorns shot towards Uchiha Shizu. Looking at the dense wood thorns, Uchiha Shizu used the instant body to dodge. These wood thorns fell to the ground and exploded instantly, forming a sea urchin-like thorn ball. It's really dangerous. Uchiha Shizu was a little frightened. Would escape was really terrifying. At this time, Uchiha Obito's figure had disappeared. The surroundings became very quiet. Uchiha Shizu's eyes began to observe the surroundings. Behind him, Uchiha Obito slowly emerged, and he got out of the tree. A hand stretched out to the back of Uchiha Shizu's head. If I catch you, you lose. As long as Uchiha Obito touches others, he can suck them into his own Kamu space, then starve to death. No matter how strong Uchiha Shizu is, he is still a human being, and anyone can starve to death. Getting closer and closer. Just when Uchiha Obito's hand was about to touch Uchiha Shizu, the knife flashed. The rapid and powerful slash directly cut through half of Uchiha Obito's body. However, no blood flowed out. Instead, a white substance flowed out. This is Hashirama's cells. Uchiha Shizu slowly turned his head. Sure enough, I can only attack you when you attack. This is to use himself as bait for testing. To gamble with one's own life. Without extremely strong combat experience and a strong mentality, one cannot do such a thing. Uchiha Shizu looked at Uchiha Obito, whose half body was cut. Uchiha Obito touched his body. You are really excellent, Uchiha Shizu. If you want to complete my next plan, it seems that you must die. Would release. Thorn killing technique. Uchiha Obito quickly formed a seal, and countless vines broke out of the ground and rushed towards Uchiha Shizu. It's useless. Shisu's figure disappeared in an instant, and when he appeared again, dozens of Shisu appeared around him. Uchiha Obito's figure slowly sank into the ground, and at this moment, Uchiha Shisu came in front of him in an instant. This kind of instant body technique was really too fast. Magic shackle hanging technique. Uchiha Shisu's eyes widened. Uchiha Obito's body froze. This is a kind of illusion that uses the unique visual illusion of the Sharingan. The enemy captured by the spiritual world constructed by the caster will feel that his body is nailed by a huge iron nail, so that his body cannot move freely. At the same time, he will also suffer the illusion of pain. Therefore, it is generally used for torture. It is a low-profile version of Tsukuyomi. The illusion launched by the Sharingan makes the opponent's limbs deprived of freedom of movement, as if pierced by nails. Taking this opportunity, the short knife in Uchiha Shisu's hand directly pierced Uchiha Obito's heart. Puff. It is the feeling of the entity, not the virtualization. Chapter 63. Fishing. The heart was pierced. Most people would have died long ago. But Uchiha Obito is not an ordinary person. Half of his body is a Shirama cells. Even if his heart is pierced, he will not die. In the future, Kakashi used Reikiri to directly pierce Obito's heart, and Obito was fine, and became the 6 paths. I got you. Obito's voice rang out. Apply what you have learned. Uchiha Shisu dared to fish with his own life. So did Uchiha Obito. For the Moon Eye project, Uchiha Obito has gone crazy. Space spirals appeared in Uchiha Obito's eyes. The surrounding space began to distort. A terrifying suction force descended on Uchiha Shisu. Uchiha Shisu's heart was beating wildly, and he felt a very heavy sense of crisis. As long as he was sucked in, something bad would definitely happen. Go to hell. Uchiha Shisu. The suction force became more and more terrifying. Uchiha Shisu decisively let go of the knife in his hand, and used his superb instant body technique to escape from the space vortex. Although they left the danger zone, the price they paid was very heavy. Uchiha Shisu's right hand holding the knife was twisted beyond recognition. You are really decisive. You are worthy of being the genius of Uchiha. Uchiha Shisu took out a kunai from the knife bag with his left hand. What if he lost the knife? He was still the instant body Shisu. I didn't expect that it would end just after it started. Uchiha Obito said, with a knife stuck in his chest. As the hollow began to transform, the knife fell to the ground. One slash, one piercing the heart. These 2 injuries were enough for Obito to rest for a while. There was no point in fighting anymore. Uchiha Obito decisively chose to leave. Goodbye, Uchiha Shisu. I hope you can still be alive when we meet next time. The space spiral pattern appeared again, this time sucking Uchiha Obito in. Just like that, Uchiha Obito disappeared. What a terrifying ability. Even the barrier may not be able to defend against this ability. We must tell the 4th Hokage as soon as possible. Uchiha Shisu did not hesitate. He picked up the knife that he had dropped on the ground and went straight into the room. Uzumaki Naruto was born. Uzumaki Kushina almost used up all her strength. Even her face was a little pale. Woo woo woo. Uzumaki Naruto's cry was very loud. This was a very healthy child. Sarutobi Biwa looked at the crying child in her arms. Congratulations to the 4th Hokage. This is a very healthy child. Uzumaki Kushina smiled, but tears flowed from the corners of her eyes. Great. It was the first time for Minato Namikaze to be a father. Looking at Sarutobi Biwa and the healthy child in her arms, Minato Namikaze felt really happy. Great. Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto was wrapped in cotton cloth with only half of his body exposed. The loud cry resounded throughout the room. He had 3 whiskers on each side of his face, which looked a little cute. The excited heart trembled with hands. What a good child. From today on, I will be a father. Witnessing the birth of the newborn, Sarutobi Biwa also smiled. Let the child meet his mother first. Namikaze Minato nodded. Sarutobi Biwa came to Uzumaki Kushina with the child in his arms, and then placed the child next to Uzumaki Kushina's head. It's a very energetic child. Uzumaki Kushina turned her head and looked at her child. Naruto, I finally see you. After giving birth, you have to rest your body. Namikaze Minato began to strengthen the seal. At this time, Uchiha Shisu appeared. His right hand twisted unnaturally. 4th generation. Something happened. Namikaze Minato's body paused slightly. Looking at the injuries on Uchiha Shizu's body, he knew that Uchiha Obito had just been here. Uchiha Shizu half knelt on the ground and quickly recounted the situation just now. But when he talked about the Uchiha clan, his tone was a little paused. Later, he also said that the other party could use would release, and even if the heart was pierced, it would still be fine. Namikaze Minato took a deep breath. Thank you for your hard work, Shizu. I will handle this matter. Don't worry, I will not give up on reconciling the conflict between the Uchiha clan and the villagers because of this matter. Uchiha Shizu listened to Namikaze Minato's warm words, feeling a little guilty. Although the enemy was repelled, he did not kill the enemy. If the enemy is not killed, the enemy will come back again. This is very dangerous in the current situation. Sorry, fourth Hokage, the opponent's ability is too weird. Uchiha Shizu said very seriously. Namikaze Minato began to suppress the turbulent Ninetales. At this time, an explosion suddenly came from Konoha village. Namikaze Minato's pupils shrank. What happened? Did he attack the village? At this time, Konoha village was ablaze. Countless white Zetsu drilled out from the ground. Black Zetsu and Uchiha Obito stood on the Hokage rock. It seems that I can't do it by myself. I didn't expect Uchiha Shizu to be so strong. Uchiha Obito looked at the riot in Konoha village coldly. Black Zetsu next to him spread his hands. Konoha is the #1 ninja village in the ninja world. Uchiha is the #1 family in Konoha, and Uchiha Shizu is the strongest genius in the family. It's normal that you can't beat them. Does your chest still hurt? Uchiha Obito touched his chest. The wound that was pierced through was filled with Hashirama cells. My heart won't hurt anymore. This fake world should have disappeared long ago. Uchiha Obito's attack failed, but he didn't give up. Instead, he started a bigger riot. The White Zetsu Army, Uchiha Obito's trump card. Each White Zetsu has the strength of a Chunin, and through fusion, they can form a huge White Zetsu whose strength can reach Jonin. And they can also imitate the opponent, by absorbing the opponent's chakra. Konoha was overwhelmed by this sudden attack. The Uchiha clan was fully mobilized. Countless patients with red eye disease quickly killed the invading White Zetsu in Konoha. White Zetsu's body was covered with wooden thorns, and he would hit anyone he saw. But the power of Konoha village was still very strong after all, and dozens of White Zetsu were defeated soon. But then hundreds of White Zetsu emerged from the ground, and there were also several huge White Zetsu. Some white spores floated in the wind, and some ninjas began to grow wildly as soon as they were attached to the white spores, sucking the chakra of the ninja. The Enbu also joined the battle at this time. Ordinary ninjas began to command civilians to take refuge. Uchiha Itachi carried his younger brother Sasuke and shuttled across the battlefield. After killing a White Zetsu, Uchiha Fugaku glanced at Uchiha Itachi. Let the Uchiha clan follow and take refuge. The enemies this time are more difficult. I just finished watching Daioixin and Mysterious Revival recently. Why not go crazy? Join the chat group and go crazy together. It must be interesting. But we have to wait until later. The fighting power in Daiogi is quite high. Summoning masters the avenue of heaven and earth, and can be said to be the incarnation of the essence of the world. For Shengshan is even more terrifying, the incarnation of the avenue of fear, overpowering all Simmering Beijing. The Sand King who mastered the secret summoning, were directly controlled just by knowing it, and then became traitors. Mysterious Resurrection is better, although it is limited to the earth. The weirdness in it is also very powerful, and will never die. It was just entangled by the blue-silver grass later, and the outline was changed from the weird flow to the fantasy cultivation flow. Chapter 64, The Enemy's Trick. The Uchiha clan is worthy of being the first Red Eye family in Konoha. Most of the White Zetsu who invaded Konoha were dealt with by them. The civilians of Konoha also witnessed the strength of the Uchiha clan. It is a very happy thing to be protected by such a powerful person. Black Zetsu put his hand on the ground and manipulated his clone. This chaos should be enough. Next, I will transform into the enemy and fight the enemy. It must be very interesting. After absorbing the chakra of Konoha ninjas, many White Zetsu use the mask technique to transform into the appearance of Konoha ninjas and then attack their companions. The chaos continued to spread. The explosions continued. Because they couldn't tell who the enemy was, many Enbu ninjas were helpless for a while. fearing that they would accidentally kill their companions. White Zetsu's disguise technique is different from the general transformation technique. After absorbing other people's chakra, it changes into the same chakra as before, and even the most familiar people or perceptive ninjas cannot recognize it. In the future, White Zetsu likes to transform into other people's appearances and mix into the ninja coalition to fight internally. Only the Ninetales Jinkriki Uzumaki Naruto has the ability to sense the other party's malice, and with this ability, he broke the White Zetsu's disguise technique. The third Hokage also joined the battlefield carrying a big stick. Although he is greedy for power, it is undeniable that he is also a member of Konoha and sincerely wants to protect Konoha. Now that Konoha has been invaded by the White Zetsu, he naturally has to fight. The three White Zetsu merge together to form a giant monster. There are strange pitcher plants growing on the monster's body, and these pitcher plants are like big mouths that constantly attack the surrounding ninjas. Earth Escape, Earth Dragon Bomb. The third Hokage quickly formed seals with both hands, and an Earth Dragon appeared on the ground. Countless stones flew directly to the giant White Zetsu. Namikaze Minato frowned. He seemed to feel the situation in the village. It's not him who actually attacked the village. Looking at his children and wife, Konoha is now invaded and is not safe. After thinking about it, Namikaze Minato decided to leave his wife and children here and go to deal with the things over there. After reinforcing the Ninetales seal, Minato Namikaze spoke to Kushina Uzumaki. Kushina, you and Naruto stay here and rest for a while. I'll go deal with the things in the village and be back soon. In the original story, only Uchiha Obito attacked Konoha. But obviously the current situation is very different from the original story. This is a future that has never happened. Minato Namikaze is very cautious. Kushina Uzumaki notes that her husband Minato Namikaze is not only the father of her children, but also the shadow of a village. She understands the burden on Minato Namikaze's shoulders. Well, come on, I'll wait for you to come back. I will. Minato Namikaze said, turned around and said to Uchiha Shisu. Shisu, I'll ask you to take care of Kushina and Naruto for the time being. Uchiha Shisu nodded very seriously. At this time, Uchiha Shisu wrapped his arm with gauze and treated it urgently. Kakashi. Minato Namikaze called out. Kakashi walked out of the darkness. Kakashi, you lead my direct Anbu to guard this place. Nothing can happen. Understood, fourth Hokage. Kakashi had lost enough. This time he was determined not to lose again. After explaining, Namikaze Minato disappeared. Back to Konoha. As soon as he returned to Konoha, Namikaze Minato saw White Zetsu wreaking havoc in Konoha. Namikaze Minato knew the origin of White Zetsu. It was the enemy who would start the fourth war in the future. The enemy transformed by the infinite moon redding. How could this thing appear at this time? Sure enough, Obito would not give up so easily. Several White Zetsu found the fourth Hokage at this time, so they rushed directly towards the fourth Hokage. White Zetsu is the clone of Black Zetsu, and is used to collect intelligence when not fighting. Feeling the information transmitted by White Zetsu, Black Zetsu said to Obito, the fourth Hokage is back. What are you going to do? Don't worry, this world is fake. The teacher is them too. I will kill him now. Black Zetsu shook his head helplessly. That's the cage of a village. In my opinion, he's just a teacher who didn't save anything. Uchiha Obito's figure slowly disappeared, and it seemed that he went to find the fourth Hokage. Several White Zetsu were quickly dealt with by the fourth Hokage Minato Namikaze. There were traces of fighting all around. White Zetsu's transformation technique cannot be distinguished by ordinary perception ability. Only those who are sensitive to malice or sage mode. White Zetsu's body is actually a kind of Hashirama cell, an artificial sage physique. If you use sage technique to perceive, it is easy to sense it. Besides me, there is only teacher Jiraiya in the village. Let's go find the teacher first. Minato Namikaze was about to move, and dozens of Kyune flew towards him. He immediately dodged. Dozens of Kyune were deeply stuck in the ground. Who? Uchiha Obito walked out of the darkness. Looking at Uchiha Obito wearing a mask and a black robe, Minato Namikaze was speechless for a while. This is his most cheerful, and brightest disciple. Although he is the last one in the class, he always works hard and cherishes his companions. But at this moment, his Sharingan is filled with murderous intent and anger. He is angry that he, as a teacher, has not protected his students well. Although Minato Namikaze has read the Naruto comics before. But that is just a comic. The trajectory of the future has long changed with Minato Namikaze joining the chat group. After all, the story told in the comics is not his future. Meet again. The master and the disciple have already met with weapons. Even though he is ready to meet, Minato Namikaze's mood is still very complicated. However, Uchiha Obito spoke first. It was a hoarse voice, no longer full of energy. Fourth Hokage, you are always so fast, but this time you will die. I will kill you. After a moment of silence, Minato Namikaze spoke. Give up. Well, nothing has happened now. Don't make any more mistakes. Minato Namikaze's voice was filled with a hint of guilt. After reading the Naruto comics and anime given by the group leader, he already knew the cause and effect. Everything was controlled by Uchiha Madara. But Rin, Kakashi, Obito and other children didn't know. I didn't know at that time. When Kakashi pierced Rin's heart with Reikiri. When Rin took the initiative to crash into Kakashi's Reikiri for the safety of Konoha. When Obito thought he could meet his friends again, he saw Kakashi killing Rin. When despair came, he was not there as a teacher. Chapter 65, Battle and Master Disciple. Jiangnan looked at the whole scene. He seemed to be a person watching the show from the perspective of a bystander. Minato, you could still do it without knowing the true identity of the masked man, but now, you are still too gentle after all. Jiangnan raised his head slightly. He seemed to see more things. Sure enough, when it comes to calculations and conspiracies, the old man is still better. Should I do it? Jiangnan thought for a while, and finally smiled. Let's wait and see. Anyway, no matter how bad the situation is, I can turn the tide. Even if the world is destroyed, I can save you. And after experiencing this, Minato should have grown up. Fourth generation, your opponent is me. Uchiha Obito's tone was full of murderous intent. Namikaze Minato took a deep breath and tried to calm himself down. Long time no see Obito, you have become better. Uchiha Obito's figure paused slightly. You recognize the wrong person. I'm Uchiha Madara. Namikaze Minato's tone was very sure. No, you are Uchiha Obito. He was recognized. And he was so sure. This made Uchiha Obito wonder if his identity had been leaked. The atmosphere was a bit awkward now. Uchiha Obito didn't know whether he should take action or not. But thinking of Lin's death, he also thought of the infinite moon reading that could bring true peace. He wanted to create a world with Lin, a world that was fake. Uchiha Obito is dead. He has been dead for a long time. Uchiha Obito roared madly and then rushed directly to Namikaze Minato. Perhaps only fighting can hide his inner panic. Namikaze Minato looked at his disciple with sadness in his eyes. But those things haven't happened yet. Namikaze Minato decided to subdue his disciple first and then slowly reason with him. Presumably, what his son can do, he should be able to do too. The battle began. Both of them had reasons not to stop fighting. In Konoha village, a huge toad suddenly appeared. He was holding a short knife in his hand. Judging from his size, it was at least more than 30 meters. Jiraiya stood on the head of Gamabunta. Toad Sage Jiraiya is here. Knowing that the Ninetales rebellion would take place on October 10th, Minato Namikaze was able to summon almost all the forces he could. This included the 3 ninjas. The 3 wars had just ended, and there was no major mission. The Hokage summoned the 3 ninjas, and they returned to the village. On the other side, a giant slug was summoned. A Tsunade stood on the slug's head. Please. The giant slug nodded, and then it split into countless small slugs and rushed to the battlefield. How can a team fight be without a nurse? With logistical support, the balance of victory will fall to oneself. Orochimaru summoned a lot of snakes. The 10,000 snakes formation. With the addition of the 3 ninjas, the situation in Konoha village began to gradually improve. White Zetsu was almost defeated. And the white Zetsu disguised by the transformation technique can be discovered by comparison. Or simply ask about the knowledge of Konoha ninjas. Jiraiya turned on the Sage mode and began to continuously eliminate the disguised white Zetsu. The invasion of Konoha gradually ended. Minato Namikaze could feel that the war in Konoha was gradually subsiding, so he put his mind at ease and began to deal with the battle in front of him. Obito, I'm your teacher. Even if you go astray, I will pull you back. Minato Namikaze's eyes were full of determination. Uchiha did not speak, but stretched out his hand and rushed towards Minato Namikaze. As long as he was caught by Uchiha, he would be sucked into the Kamu space. Minato Namikaze swung the three-bladed kunai in his hand, stabbed Uchiha. Then he passed through Uchiha body. After completely passing through, Obito's palm suddenly grabbed Minato Namikaze's wrist. "Teacher, you are careless." Spiral patterns appeared in the space, and Minato Namikaze's whole body began to twist. But the next moment Minato Namikaze disappeared. Flying Thunder God disappeared. No, flew away. The next moment the three-bladed kunai fell from the sky. Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique. Countless shurikens fell from the sky, as dense as a rainstorm. But Uchiha hollow was too strong and buggy. Such a dense attack was completely useless. The next moment, Namikaze Minato appeared behind Uchiha. The Rasengan in his right hand condensed and then hit Uchiha. As a result, it could not pass through Uchiha body. The moment it passed through again, Uchiha moved and grabbed Namikaze Minato with his arm. Red eye shadow appeared in the corners of Namikaze Minato's eyes. During the time he joined the chat group, he did not give up such a good opportunity to become stronger, especially knowing that he was about to die. Just when Obito's hand was about to touch Namikaze Minato turned around and threw the kunai in his left hand directly. The kunai passed through Uchiha body, but Uchiha did not stop and continued to rush towards Namikaze Minato. Namikaze Minato knew that in the original future, he would defeat Uchiha through the second stage of Flying Thunder God. So he planned to continue using this move. Just when Obito was about to touch Minato Namikaze, he seemed to sense a hint of danger. Using his own body as bait, and then attacking when he materialized. Why did this move seem so familiar? Sure enough, just when Uchiha hand was about to touch Minato Namikaze disappeared. He appeared on the kunai he had just thrown. The fairy technique in his hand, the Rasengan, was pressed directly towards Uchiha. The next moment, the terrifying spiral power descended directly on Uchiha. The ground was also directly crushed by this terrifying power. I touched it. After the power of the Rasengan disappeared, Minato Namikaze directly touched Uchiha and then left the Flying Thunder God mark on him, as well as a special technique. The dust was blown up by the strong wind. Being hit by the Rasengan head-on, Uchiha was seriously injured, even though he had Hashirama cells. White liquid kept flowing out of half of his body. "Teacher, you are really strong." Uchiha stood up from the ground with difficulty. After leaving a mark on Uchiha, Minato Namikaze disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already far away. "That's enough, Obito. Turn back. Nothing has happened now. I will help you." "No, there is no chance anymore." Uchiha eyes were full of anger. There was no chance when Rin died. "Rin's death is not your fault. It's my fault. I didn't protect you well." Namikaze Minato said what was in his heart. Uchiha took off his mask, revealing half of his distorted face. "No, teacher, it's this world that is wrong. It's this false world that only knows how to fight. I want to create a truly peaceful world." Chapter 66, Special Technique. Namikaze Minato looked at the young and twisted face of Uchiha. His face no longer had a smile like usual, but twisted anger. Now that his identity has been recognized, the mask is useless. "Teacher, we will meet again." Obito was ready to leave, because by this time Black Zetsu should have completed what he planned to do. "You can't escape, Obito. I left a special spell on you." Namikaze Minato put down the kunai. The next moment, strong chakra burst out from Uchiha body. Countless chains jumped out from the special spell. Diamond Sealing Binding Technique. This is a sealing technique improved by Namikaze Minato. It is specially made for Obito. It is used to block a person's chakra and actions. Similar to the acupuncture and binding spell of the Hyuga clan. Once the chakra is sealed, even if Obito has Kamu, he cannot use it temporarily. Obito did not expect this to happen. He wanted to resist, but found that his body could not move at all. He wanted to become hollow, but found that even his pupil power could not be used. The Uzumaki clan is a family of seals, and they have many different seals. Minato Namikaze learned a lot of seals from his wife. Obito could feel that the seal on his body was very powerful. It seemed impossible to break free. Obito. Minato Namikaze was about to take Obito away first. But the next moment, a wild beast roared outside the village. Nine-tailed. The giant red nine-tailed fox shook its tail, and the earth shook with a slight sweep of its tail. The nine-tailed was released. A few minutes ago. Uzumaki Kushina's delivery room. Uchiha was on high alert. He knew that the enemy had already attacked. Especially the situation in the village. But now he has a more important task, which is to protect the nine-tailed Jinchuriki. Kakashi is also a little worried about the situation in the village. But obviously his task is not here. Sarutobi Biwa and the midwife are also here. The village is obviously not safe after being invaded, and going back now would be courting death. Oh my. I didn't expect to meet so many people here. Uchiha drew his sword instantly. Who? Several white zetsu slowly floated up from the ground. The battle was about to start. But at this moment, white spores appeared on everyone's body. The spores began to absorb the chakra of the people around them, and gradually grew larger, and then completely wrapped the people. What the hell is this? Kakashi was shocked. Several white zetsu were very proud. I'm super powerful. The four-cornered windmills in Uchiha pupils spun wildly. Susanoo. A green skeleton suddenly appeared, and then burst the white spores on Uchiha body. You guys, die. The green skeleton derived a skeleton arm, and the arm swept across, and killed all the white zetsu. Then Uchiha tore the white spores on Kakashi's body. At this time, a discordant voice sounded. Don't move, otherwise, I might accidentally strangle you to death. The half-white and half-black zetsu stood in front of Uzumaki Kushina's bed with a pitcher plant on his head. He was holding a newborn baby, Uzumaki Naruto, in his arms. Threat. Uchiha was at a loss for a moment. Even Kakashi stood there, not knowing whether to move forward or not. If he accidentally caused the death of Uzumaki Naruto, then his master's wife would never forgive him. That's right. Black Zetsu said very proudly. Uzumaki Kushina's face was pale, but she still spoke weakly. Who are you? What do you want to do? Hey. Don't say that. I must be doing something bad here. So Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, don't mess around. If I shake my hand by accident, this newborn baby will be dead. At this time, Black Zetsu was completely a villain who died because of talking too much. The Susanoo on Uchiha body gradually disappeared, but the knife in his hand was still not put down. With his rapid instant body technique, he could definitely kill Black Zetsu in front of him with one blow. But is this freak-like person really that easy to kill? Okay, let's stop chatting here. After all, my purpose is to release the Nine-Tails. Uzumaki Kushina's pupils shrank, and the black half of Black Zetsu's body stretched out his hand, and placed it on the seal of the Nine-Tails. In just a moment, the seal left by Namikaze Minato was broken. You have to know that the black half of Black Zetsu's body is Kaguya's child. Although this child is relatively rubbish, it is still a product of the 6 paths. It is still easy to break a seal, and release the loose seal of the Nine-Tails. It's time. Uchiha figure flashed, and the knife light swept past and directly cut off Black Zetsu's arm. It was the arm holding Naruto. Naruto was held in Uchiha arms. Uchiha did not choose to attack the vital parts, but chose to save people. Black Zetsu looked at his broken arm, and didn't care at all. Okay, I won't play with you anymore. Goodbye. And let me remind you that the Nine-Tails is coming out. Black Zetsu drilled into the ground and disappeared. Uzumaki Kushina smiled as she watched Uchiha save her child. Great. Then she felt a sharp pain. It was no worse than the pain of childbirth. In the sealed space, the chains on the Nine-Tails gradually melted. The nails were pulled out one by one. After being imprisoned for such a long time, the Nine-Tails was really angry, even if he was not controlled. After he came out, he would wreak havoc and then retaliate against Konoha who sealed him. Roar. The seal on Uzumaki Kushina's belly broke, forming a hole. Red chakra drilled out of the seal. Evil and violent. The tailed beast is a village's nuclear bomb. Looking at the red chakra spreading from Uzumaki Kushina's belly, even Uchiha frowned. This chakra power is too strong. Is this the power of the Nine-Tails? Damn it. Uchiha did not know the sealing technique, so he had no good way now. The main Jiki Sharingan can control the Ninetales. But if Uchiha Shizu did it, then the Konoha level officials would certainly be more afraid of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Shizu had too many concerns. The red chakra wrapped around Uzumaki Kushina and then formed a huge fox head. At this time, the surrounding Anbu ninjas also broke free from the white spores. It's too late. Uchiha Shizu handed Naruto to Kakashi. The Ninetales will be out soon. All of you should leave quickly, take the children, and go to a safe place. Kakashi looked at the sleeping child in his arms. Then what will you do? Uchiha Shizu glanced at Uzumaki Kushina, who seemed to have fallen into a coma. I'll go save people. At least try. Chapter 67. You miss mom. As soon as the Ninetales came out, it let out a crazy roar. Houses collapsed and rocks flew everywhere. At the most dangerous and critical moment, Uchiha Shizu escaped with his excellent instant body technique. By the way, he saved Uzumaki Kushina. Because the Ninetales was released, Namikaze Minato could only imprison Obito in a hurry. In the dim underground cage, Obito sat on the ground, his body wrapped in chains. Just then Black Zetsu appeared. Oh my, so miserable. Do you need my help? Uchiha Obito opened his eyes. Your coming here means that the Ninetales has been released. Let me go quickly. Black Zetsu smiled. Okay, no problem. But Obito, you are really a wimp. First you were beaten by Shizu, and now you are beaten by your teacher. Reaching out his hand, Black Zetsu was ready to remove the seal on Obito. Hello. Do you miss your mother? An interesting voice sounded. Jiangnan entered the scene. When the Ninetales was released, the situation was no longer something Minato could easily control. Jiangnan came to cover the situation. Who? Black Zetsu turned his head suddenly and then saw Jiangnan with a smile. Although he had some thoughts in his heart, Black Zetsu still pretended to speak casually. Hey, who are you? When did you come? Why didn't I see you? Jiangnan tilted his head slightly. When did you come? Probably before you came. By the way, you haven't answered my question yet. Do you miss your mother? Zetsu. Black Zetsu spread his hands. I was created. I don't have a mother. Jiangnan changed his expression, a look of contempt. If your mother knew, she might beat you. You actually said you don't have a mother. Black Zetsu was silent for a while. He couldn't figure out what the man in front of him wanted to do. When Obito was sitting on the ground with a confused look on his face, in his cognition, Black Zetsu was created by Madara to carry out his plan and monitor himself. Jiangnan looked up at the sky at a 45-degree angle and saw the moon outside through the layers of walls. If Kaguya Otsutsuki knew that she had given birth to such an unfilial son, would she cry in the seal? Hearing such words, Black Zetsu's face changed instantly. Who are you? Jiangnan smiled slightly. No one. They say that children with mothers are like treasures, and children without mothers are like grass, but you seem to be quite happy as a grass. It's been 1,000 years. After all, you are also a brother of the Six Paths. How come you are getting worse and worse now, letting a 14-year-old brat to carry out your plan to save your mother? Black Zetsu's eyes showed a strong murderous intent. It has been planned for 1,000 years. The Samsurai has appeared, and now is the critical moment. Black Zetsu will not allow anyone to disturb. What do you know? Jiangnan thought for a while. I know a lot. Everything about you. For example, you used Uchiha Madara and Uchiha Obito. Provoked the relationship between Ashura and Indra. Provoked the war between the Senju clan and the Uchiha clan. And you modified the Uchiha clan's stone tablet. As Black Zetsu talked about the bad things he had done in the past, even Obito was surprised. Is this Black Zetsu, whom he looked down upon, so strong? White Zetsu appeared in the surrounding walls. But the next moment they turned into ashes and disappeared. Jiangnan looked at the ashes all over the ground. You are anxious. You are anxious. But I'm a good person. I guess you haven't seen your mother for 1,000 years, and you must miss her too. As long as you beg me, I will let you see her. This is much better than your infinite Tsukuyomi and Moonai plan. Black Zetsu naturally didn't believe it, and many tree thorns emerged from his body. The person who wanted to attack me last time has become a good person after my gentle persuasion. How interesting it would be if you could become a good person too. The next moment, Jiangnan snapped his fingers. The white Jew possessed by the black Jew instantly turned into ashes. This was because their vitality was taken away. Life force, the essence of human beings, the root of life, and lifespan, vitality. The Tao says that living beings are the essence of all things, and those who can cultivate the Tao can know the destiny. Cultivating all the way is to cultivate the Tao, and those who have achieved the Tao can become immortals, but in the final analysis, cultivating immortals is to seize the essence of heaven and earth for their own enlightenment. And humans are the higher life among living beings. In other words, human vitality and lifespan are a kind of heaven and earth power, and they are still very precious, which can be used for people to cultivate quickly. Of course, most of those who cultivate in this way are demon cultivators. Although Jiangnan is not a demon cultivator, if he cultivates and absorbs the power of heaven and earth around him regardless of anything, then the vitality and essence of all the surrounding life will be sucked away by him. Plants, animals, humans, soil, nothing can escape. The white Zetsu around him died like this. Jiangnan didn't need to do anything, just take a breath, and practice a little, that's all. Without the body of the white Zetsu, the black Zetsu turned into a pool of black liquid. There was a faint outline of a head in the liquid, and the two eyes were abnormally empty. This is what you really look like. So ugly. Damn it. Black Zetsu turned around, and was about to run, but he found that he couldn't get into the ground. You want to escape in front of me, don't you think too highly of yourself? Speaking of it, there are quite a lot of messes in the Naruto world, but the biggest mess in the early stage must be you. As for the hidden Jujin and the future Otsutsuki, let Minato Namikaze have a headache. Jiangnan stretched out his hand and directly pinched the neck of Black Zetsu, and lifted Black Zetsu up. With his other hand, he casually drew in the air, and a space crack appeared. On the other side of the space crack was sleeping Kaguya Otsutsuki. Now, as long as Jiangnan wanted, he could directly pull Kaguya Otsutsuki out of the seal. It's really beautiful. Jiangnan glanced at Kaguya. Black Zetsu finally saw his long-missed mother. Tears flowed unconsciously. It seemed that he really missed his mother. Jiangnan looked at Black Zetsu who was pinched by him. After 1,000 years, you are happy to see your mother again. Jiangnan had a very evil smile on his face. Then he placed Black Zetsu's body in front of the space crack. No, you can't do this. If Black Zetsu was thrown in, then Kaguya Otsutsuki would probably never get out in her lifetime. 1,000 years is a plan, calculation, and conspiracy. Oh my, I'm such a good person. You hate me so much, and want to attack me, but I fulfilled your dream, and reunited you and your son. I can't help but sigh, why am I so saintly? Jiangnan had a very happy smile on his face when he spoke. Sometimes, living is more interesting than dying. Because you will resist, suffer, and struggle. Happiness is built on the pain of others. This is absolutely true. Finally, in the desperate eyes of Black Zetsu, Jiangnan let go with a happy smile. The space crack disappeared. Black Zetsu and his mother were sealed forever, together forever. In the new month, I wish all readers a good waist, good legs, good health, peace, health, and happiness. I wish all readers smooth sailing, 2 dragons soaring, 3 sheep opening the door, 4 seasons of peace, 5 blessings, 6 smooth sailing, 7 stars shining, 8 directions of good luck, 9 hearts, and 10 perfect. The manuscripts have exceeded 30 chapters. Please vote for the monthly ticket. Please recommend the ticket. Please invest. Please collect. Please read. Never stop updating. Never ask for leave. And there will be a burst of updates when it is put on the shelves. Chapter 68. Gentle Persuasion. The biggest troublemaker of this era has finally been dealt with. Next is Uchiha Obito. At this time, Uchiha Obito was already dazed. He didn't expect to hear so many secrets today. Well, how do you deal with it? Although it was whitewashed in Naruto, but your identity is still quite troublesome. Why not just kill him? Jiangnan squatted in front of Uchiha Obito with a smile. Looking at that happy smile, Uchiha Obito couldn't help but take 2 steps back. He felt that the man in front of him was more dangerous than Madara. I don't know how to talk to the sky. What should I do? Well, why don't you let Minato deal with it? Forget it. Try my soft persuasion. If it doesn't work, just die. Jiangnan stretched out his hand. Obito struggled to avoid this hand, but Jiangnan still grabbed his head accurately. Let's go. Let's go to the underworld for a walk. There is an underworld in the Naruto world. The dead souls will stay in the underworld. Through some summoning rituals, the souls staying in the underworld can be summoned, and the death gods in the underworld can also be summoned to fight. For example, the impure world reincarnation and the sealing of Shiki. The underworld is the pure land of the soul, and living people are not allowed to enter. Jiangnan carried Obito's soul to the underworld. It was pitch black all around. A big door stood in the center of the darkness. Jiangnan walked over without saying a word. But at this moment, the evil ghost who had been wearing white clothes blocked the two of them, and he still had a sharp knife in his mouth. Living people are not allowed to enter. Although he didn't open his mouth, the evil ghost still emitted a hoarse and terrifying voice. This guy is the god of death in the underworld. A good dog doesn't block the road. Get out of the way. Jiangnan slapped the god of death and flew him out with a slap. As for where he slapped, it was too dark around, so who knows. Stepping into the gate of the underworld, the two came to the Pure Land. Obito looked around nervously. Where is this? Where is this? Where are you taking me? Are you going to send me to hell to torture me? What should I do? What should I do? Jiangnan scratched his ears and felt a little impatient. Shut up. Are you annoying? This is the Pure Land, the world of the dead. I brought you here to let you meet someone you've always dreamed of. If she can't persuade you, you'll stay here forever. This is my soft persuasion. If she can't persuade you, you'll die. Stepping into the gate, the surroundings were still pitch black. But in Jiangnan's mind, everything around him was invisible. The yellow spring river flowed slowly, and the dead souls who stayed here seemed to be waiting for something. Some of them had no will of their own, wandering here like lonely ghosts. I haven't seen a living person for a long time. I didn't expect that there would be a living person who could come here. A person walked over in the darkness. Six Paths Sage. Jiangnan recognized the person. It was the Six Paths Sage Otsutsuki Hagoromo. Hagoromo had two horns on his head, brown hair, and wore a white coat. There were 6 black Magatama-shaped patterns on his chest, a red spiral-shaped logo on his back, and 9 squares of Magatama arranged below. The Tao-seeking jade was floating behind Hagoromo. He held a black Zen staff in his hand. It seems that you know me, outsider. Jiangnan was not surprised to be discovered, because he had never hidden his identity. Are you here to stop me, old man? The Six Paths Sage shook his head. How could it be? On the contrary, I'm here to help you. I have been watching you. What you do is not inconsistent with my belief in protecting the ninja world. Okay, bring out the girl that this guy has a crush on and persuade him well. Otherwise let this guy stay in the underworld forever. Living is also a trouble. The Six Paths Sage shook his head helplessly at Jiangnan's straightforwardness. Come with me. Following the Six Paths Sage, everyone found Lin. Looking at the familiar face, that was exactly the same as before death. Obito's eyes were full of excitement. Meet again, Lin. Lin, is that you? Obito walked towards the girl who was haunted with excitement and trembling hands. Lin turned her head slightly. Obito? Familiar voice, this feeling is not fake. Lin. Obito hugged Lin directly. At this time, Obito was in the state of a soul and had recovered to the appearance of a 14-year-old boy. Obito, are you dead too? Jiangnan was overwhelmed by this sudden show of affection and interrupted. No, but soon, because your good friend is not doing anything, so the little girl should persuade him well. If you can't persuade him, he will probably die. Lin was puzzled. In her heart, Obito was still the boy who cherished his companions, brave and happy. What happened to Obito? Obito opened his mouth and suddenly found that he couldn't say anything. He said that he was going to kill his teacher and his master's wife, and that he released the Nine Tails to destroy Konoha. How could he say this? I can't say it now. How can I do it when I do it? Jiangnan came in front of Lin. Who are you? Lin was a little confused. Jiangnan introduced himself. Jiangnan, the immortal. Just call me Jiangnan. Lin bowed slightly and showed a polite smile. I'm Lin, and I'm dead now. Okay, little girl, I still have things to do, so you should try to persuade him. By the way, I'll show you what bad things this guy has done. Jiangnan raised his hand and gently touched Lin's brow with his finger. In an instant, everything Uchiha Obito did in Konoha came to Lin's mind, looking at the pictures flashing before her eyes. And what Obito had done. At this moment, Lin shed tears. This is the Konoha she loves the most, her home, and the current 4th Hokage of Minato Namikaze is her most respected teacher, and the Ninetales Jinchuriki is her master's wife. Lin still remembers that Uzumaki Kushina loved Uchiha Obito the most. Because Obito always cherishes his companions so much, so sunny and happy. The reason why Lin was killed by Kakashi was because she had the 3 tails in her body. In order to prevent the 3 tails from appearing in Konoha village, Lin decided to commit suicide and crashed into Kakashi's Reikari. Obito lowered his head, as if he was a child who had done something wrong. Lin slapped him with tears in her eyes. How could you do this? How could you? That's the teacher. And the teacher's child, the teacher's wife loves you the most. Don't you know that the Jinchuriki will die after the tailed beast is extracted? Don't you know? Then another slap. Lin was really angry. At this time, Jiangnan heard a voice from the other side. Ding, Namikaze Minato tagged you in the chat group. Jiangnan opened the chat group and looked at the message inside. It was a message for help. Then Jiangnan spoke to Lin. I'll leave this brain-dead child to you. If it really doesn't work, let him stay here for the rest of his life. I'm leaving first. Jiangnan turned around and disappeared. The 6 Paths Sage sighed. You can enter and exit the underworld at will and return to the world of the living and the dead. It's really a terrible power. Jiangnan opened his eyes and then let go of his hand. Obito's body was still breathing weakly, as if he was asleep. If the soul does not come out of the underworld, then Obito will become a vegetable for life. In the new month, I wish all readers a good waist, good legs, good health, peace, health, and happiness. I wish all readers smooth sailing, 2 dragons soaring, 3 sheep opening the door, 4 seasons of peace, 5 blessings, 6 smooth, 7 stars shining, 8 directions of good luck, 9 hearts, 10 perfect. There are more than 30 chapters in the manuscript. Please vote for the monthly ticket. Please recommend the ticket. Please invest. Please read. Please collect. Never stop updating. Never ask for leave. And there will be a burst of updates when it is put on the shelves. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69, Nine-Tailed Fox's Disaster Day. Uzumaki Kushina looked at the roaring Ninetales weakly. Ninetales. Uchiha Shizu hugged Uzumaki Kushina and left in an instant. After the Ninetales finished roaring, it looked towards Konoha in the distance. That was the place where it was imprisoned. It had imprisoned itself for so many years. It would first take a tailed beast ball to take revenge. It would do it as soon as it thought of it. After so many years of humiliation, it could finally explode. The Ninetales opened its mouth wide, and the black-tailed beast ball condensed in its mouth. The target was the Hokage Rock in Konoha village. Looking at the first man on the Hokage Rock, the Ninetales was very angry. Back then, it was playing happily in the forest alone, but a red-eye disease came and glared at itself and hypnotized itself. As soon as it woke up, it saw a man with dark circles under his eyes saying that it was too strong. Then a hand lifted itself up and sealed it, and from then on began a shameful life of imprisonment. After imprisoning Obito, Namikaze Minato immediately rushed to the battlefield. Uchiha Shizu held Uzumaki Kushina, Kakashi held Uzumaki Naruto, and the two quickly fled to the distance. The Ninetales was very dangerous. If the tail swept lightly, it would be seriously injured if not dead. Namikaze Minato saw this scene when he came. When Uchiha Shizu saw Namikaze Minato, his eyes were full of apology. Sorry, fourth Hokage, the Ninetales escaped. Namikaze Minato sighed. No need to apologize, you have done enough. Take Kushina and Naruto to the shelter. Kushina is a member of the Uzumaki clan, and her vitality is very strong. Someone will save her later. Namikaze Minato looked at the weak Uzumaki Kushina with heartache, thinking from time to time. If I let the group leader take action directly, would it not cause such a bad situation? Things have come to this point. I have to go first. After Namikaze Minato tagged the group leader in the group, He prepared to block the Ninetales tailed beast ball. The Ninetales tailed beast ball was quickly condensed. To transfer such a huge tailed beast ball, a lot of chakra is needed. Sage mode on. Red eyeshadow appeared in the corners of Minato Namikaze's eyes. With the help of Sage Chakra, Minato Namikaze's various powers will be upgraded to a higher level during this period. The huge tailed beast ball was spit out by the Ninetales to the Hokage Rock of Konoha village. Minato Namikaze formed a seal, and the text of the technique was formed in the air. The tailed beast ball was directly transferred. Then the tailed beast ball exploded in the forest several kilometers away from Konoha village. A mushroom cloud rose into the sky. I originally planned to wait until this matter was over, and then find a way to transfer the Ninetales in Kushina's body to my body, so that I can withstand the future crisis, and repel the future enemies. But I didn't expect that you, Ninetales, would still come out. Minato Namikaze quickly made a decision. He planned to seal the Ninetales in his body at this time. Many enemies in the future will go for the Ninetales. As a father, Minato Namikaze actually didn't want Naruto to deal with those very powerful enemies in the future alone. If possible, as an old father, Minato Namikaze wanted to solve all enemies and let Uzumaki Naruto have a happy life. Shiki Fujin. Minato Namikaze quickly formed seals with both hands, ready to summon the god of death. This is an S-level forbidden technique. Once used, one soul will be handed over to the god of death, who will harvest the souls of the enemies and die together. But Minato Namikaze was not afraid, because he had a plug-in. Then a small porcelain bottle appeared in his hand. Soul solidification liquid. It can solidify one soul in the body. It only sells for 400 points in the group mall. With this thing, the god of death cannot take away one soul. It's free. But after Minato Namikaze formed the seal, he found that the god of death was gone. What's the situation? At this time, the god of death in the underworld didn't know where he was sleeping. At this moment, a golden lightsaber fell from the sky. It directly penetrated the body of the Ninetales and nailed it to the ground. Then 9 golden lightsabers appeared, and these lightsabers directly fixed the Ninetales of the Ninetales. The nine-tailed fox, which was originally extremely arrogant, instantly became as drowsy as a dead salted fish. I want to ride the wind and eliminate demons in the world. How dare a little fox demon act rashly in front of me? The protagonist always appears last. The group leader Xiao Yan came on stage. Floating in the air, stepping on the golden lightsaber, he was extremely domineering. This golden lightsaber condensed by the immortal power has an unreasonable suppression ability. Any enemy who is not as good as Xiao Yan will be suppressed without thinking. The crisis of Konoha is completely over. As the boss of a group, how can he appear without a little appearance? It's over. Namikaze Minato slowly breathed a sigh of relief and released the sage mode. Xiao Yan fell from the sky in a very pretentious manner. Minato, are you awesome, group leader? Show off. Xiao Yan felt that he should give at least 82 points for this pretense. The rest was sent in the form of 666. Namikaze Minato smiled. Thank you, group leader. Mingfei, who was watching the live broadcast at this time, was very excited, as if he was the one who just pretended to be awesome. The group leader is so domineering, so mighty. Xiao Yan would broadcast live when he had nothing to do. He had already broadcast the Ninetales Rebellion live tonight. Everyone saw everything that happened, especially the fact that Xiao Yan could enter and exit the underworld at will. Tsujikoku Yoriichi was a little silent at this time. He thought of his wife and children. It seemed that his world also had a pure land of the dead, the underworld. At the beginning, he was just a little bit away from saving them. Will they blame themselves for not rushing back when it was important? Saitama simply watched the live broadcast as TV. Watching TV consumes electricity and has to pay electricity bills, but watching live broadcasts does not require electricity bills. Moreover, the people in the group are not only talented, but also speak well. Looking at the Ninetales nailed to the ground, Xiao Yan asked, how are you going to deal with it? Seal it directly in your body? But to become a perfect Jinkriki, you need to reconcile with the Ninetales. If you use tug-of-war, you can only get a part of the power in the Ninetales. The Ninetales is now very irritable, and it will probably be difficult to reconcile. Then what can you do, group leader? This time, Minato Namikaze learned his lesson and asked for help directly from the group leader. The group leader patted his chest. This group leader is very good at soft persuasion. Isn't it just reconciliation? Isn't it the perfect Jinchuriki? It's a piece of cake. Minato Namikaze always had a bad feeling. Jiangnan looked at the ninetales nailed to the ground and said in a very soft tone, Kuroma. Minato Namikaze is a very good person, sunny and cheerful. He is also the fourth Hokage. He has a promising future and a promising future. He lives in his body, with food and accommodation provided without rent. You just need to help him out when he fights occasionally. Are you tempted? Are you happy? Although the ninetales couldn't muster up the energy, he still snorted coldly and refused. In the new month, I wish all readers a good waist, good legs, good health, peace, health, and happiness. I wish all readers smooth sailing, 2 dragons soaring, 3 sheep opening the door to prosperity, 4 seasons of peace, 5 blessings, 6 smooth sailing, 7 stars shining, 8 directions of good luck, 9 hearts in 1, and 10 perfect. There are more than 30 chapters in stock. Please vote for the monthly ticket. Please recommend the ticket. Please invest. Please read. Please collect. Never stop updating. Never ask for leave. And update it once it is on the shelves. Chapter 70. The Unconvinced Nine-Tailed Fox. Jiangnan felt that Jiuwei was not just unconvinced. Lu Mingfei was squatting beside him. It is said that dogs rely on the power of their masters. At this time, Lu Mingfei was very arrogant. Little fox, ridiculous, you still don't obey, but you obeyed after being slapped. Jiangnan shook his head with a gentle expression on his face. This is reconciliation. We need to persuade Jiuwei gently. If Jiuwei doesn't listen to the advice, then I will send it to see the old man Liu Dao. I believe that it should be able to listen to the old man Liu Dao's words. Lu Mingfei knew that the old man Liu Dao was there at this time, in the pure land of the dead in the underworld. Sending Jiuwei there meant killing it. You are worthy of being the group leader. Lu Mingfei was very impressed. If I don't obey, you have the guts to let me go, and we will fight again. You are a sneak attack. You are shameless. Jiangnan was not embarrassed at all about the sneak attack. What's wrong with a sneak attack? I will still treat you well. Jiuwei was a little weak. Little trash, let me go. The projection Lu Mingfei instantly stepped aside and then silently mourned for the nine-tailed fox. Good luck to the nine-tailed fox. Jiangnan's mouth twitched a little. What did you just say I was? Little trash. The nine-tailed fox said without hesitation, with a little disdain in his tone. Jiangnan said with a fake smile. Sure enough, you still need to be disciplined. Jiangnan waved his hand and let go of the nine-tailed fox. 10 lightsabers disappeared into thin air. The nine-tailed fox was free. Roar. As soon as it was free, the nine-tailed fox let out an angry roar. Namikaze Minato left the battlefield wisely and went to find his wife and children. Then he could only silently wish the nine-tailed fox good luck and not really die. On the other side, Uzumaki Kushina was treated by Tsunade herself. As the most awesome nurse throughout the entire Naruto, she was really amazing. Uchiha Shizuzan was also urgently treated by the medical team. At this time, Uchiha Fugaku came over. Sorry clan leader. Uchiha Fugaku just sighed and said nothing more. Things have already happened. There is no use blaming others. Now we should think more about how to save the current situation. Tsunade on the other side frowned. Although the vitality of the Uzumaki clan is very strong, if the tailed beast is taken away, even the Uzumaki clan may not be able to bear it. Uzumaki Naruto stayed quietly in Kakashi's arms, looking at his teacher's child. Kakashi's eyes were filled with worry. Teacher hopes that you can come back safely, and I hope that the teacher's wife can survive this crisis. The third generation Hokage was wearing a combat uniform at this time, with traces of battle on his body. Hey. Konoha can't have any more trouble now. The third war just ended. Before it was quiet, an enemy invaded directly, the Ninetales rioted, and if the fourth generation Hokage and the Jinchuriki died again, the next Hokage is probably going to be selected from the 3 ninjas. Danzo is already dead, and the top leaders of Konoha are basically old guys, who are old, and can't stand the tossing. Now there are only these 3 who are qualified to select the Hokage. In fact, the third Hokage thought that the 5th Hokage should be Tsunade. no matter in terms of status, strength, or heart. Although Tsunade is a big fat sheep in Konoha and likes gambling. But she never lets down her guard when it comes to serious matters. At the same time, she is also the granddaughter of the first Hokage, the princess of the Senju clan, and a kind girl. Forget it, don't think too much. I hope Minato can come back safely. The third Hokage has planned to retire completely, and now it is the world of young people. The nine-tailed fox roared madly, looking at Xiao Yan, who was not as big as his fingernail. It slapped down with one claw without hesitation. In an instant, the ground shook, and countless rubble flew across. What a weak human. The nine tails flattened the surrounding mountains. The nine-tailed fox was really happy to be free. What are you happy about? Jiang Nan's voice suddenly appeared. Next to the nine-tailed fox's ear. Human. Jiang Nan stood on the nine-tailed fox's head and raised his hand. Bang. A big beast landed on Kyuubi's face. Kyuubi only felt that his head was hit by something, and then his body fell to the ground uncontrollably. It hurt, but it was more humiliating than the pain. You have to know that this small big beast caused great damage to Kyuubi's heart. The huge body hit the ground and shook up the dust. Human, you have completely angered me. Kyuubi roared, got up and began to condense into a tailed beast jade. The huge black-tailed beast jade condensed in the air. Once it exploded, there would be no grass in the vertical kilometer radius, and a mushroom would slowly rise here. Jiang Nan seemed to have thought of something fun again, and quietly watched Kyuubi condense the tailed beast jade. Kyuubi, have you seen Cat and Mouse? I liked it the most when I was a child. At that time, there was no computer at home. Every day I squatted in front of the TV to watch the cartoons broadcast on time by the TV station. When I was in kindergarten, the teacher often played cat and mouse. I still remember that there was a particularly interesting episode. Jiang Nan's body slowly floated up, came to the tailed beast jade, and then stepped on it steadily. The nine tails was below, with its head tilted back, and its mouth open, and its nine tails stood upright. This was to provide chakra for the tailed beast ball. Just when the tailed beast ball reached its limit, and was about to explode, Jiang Nan jumped lightly. Then he fell gently. Look at my 1,000-pound weight. The tailed beast ball seemed to be exerted with several times the gravity, and it fell instantly, directly into the nine-tails' mouth, but got stuck in its throat. Woo woo. The nine-tails was directly pressed to the ground. Oh my, it's too big, it got stuck in your throat. Let me help you again. Jiang Nan raised his leg and stomped lightly. The nine tails directly swallowed the tailed beast ball by force. It slid down in an instant, but it's about to explode. Jiang Nan gently put his hands together, and the nine tails' big mouth closed at once. Then it was pinched tightly by the dead Jiang Nan. Woo woo woo. The nine tails felt that its mouth seemed to be locked by a huge force, clamped tightly like an iron clamp, and it could not open it, no matter how it struggled. Woo woo. The tailed beast ball in the nine tails' stomach was about to explode. It had eaten the tailed beast ball in the past, but this was its way of attack, to strengthen the power of the tailed beast ball. When the tailed beast ball exploded in its stomach, it opened its mouth at the same time, and all the power would explode at one point. Then it would form a huge beam of light, and this concentrated explosion was even more terrifying than the explosion of the tailed beast ball. But at this time, the nine tails' mouth was not open, so all the power of the tailed beast ball explosion had to be borne by its stomach. The nine tails understood the horror of its tailed beast ball, and knew that, if it really exploded in its stomach, it would definitely be destroyed. It had to find a hole to release it. Its mouth was locked, but there was a hole at the back that was just too small. Bang! It exploded. Chapter 71, Infinite Moon Reading. The terrifying force of the explosion made the nine-tailed fox's belly very big. The head and tail seemed unusually small at this time. The nine-tailed fox felt that it was going to die. TSK. Jiang Nan smiled with a helpless look on his face. The nine-tailed fox felt dizzy, and black smoke was coming out of its ears and nostrils. Its mouth was firmly fixed. The expression on its face was that it had lost all hope in life. The nine-tailed fox completely endured the power of the explosion. It was also thanks to the good physique of the tailed beast, otherwise it would have died long ago. Jiang Nan slowly loosened his hand. A puff of black smoke came out of the nine-tailed fox's mouth. The nine-tailed fox lay on the ground with its tail drooping, obviously in great pain. Jiang Nan slowly landed on the ground from the air. How is it, nine-tailed fox? Is it fun? Damn it, who are you? The nine-tailed fox's voice was weaker than ever before. Jiang Nan, how do you think of my previous proposal? I refuse. Even if I, Kyuubi, die today, beaten to death by you, and Old Man Six Paths comes, I will not be your Jinkriki anymore. Jiang Nan obviously hadn't had enough fun, and there was still a joyful smile on his face. Okay, I just like your unwillingness to admit defeat. I hope you won't cry for mercy later. Kyuubi snorted. It looked like you can beat or scold me, but I just don't accept it. Jiang Nan came to Kyuubi and put his hand on Kyuubi's head. Let's play in the fake real world together. My trick is no worse than the infinite moon reading. By the way, foxes seem to be canines. High-rise buildings, shining lights, humans seem to be the masters of the world. They dominate this world and dance happily. At the same time, they also dominate other creatures and treat those creatures as their own pets. In the prosperous city, countless stray cats and dogs are rummaging through food in the trash can. In such a world, stray cats and dogs not only have to avoid some evil humans, but also some organizations that specialize in catching stray cats and dogs, and even more so, some perverts who like to catch stray cats and dogs for sterilization. In the world of stray cats and dogs, humans are very scary creatures. In order to survive, they really try their best and are alert to all the movements around them. Once there is any disturbance, they will run away immediately. Sometimes they envy those pets with owners. At least they can eat well and sleep warmly, unlike them, who often go hungry for 9 meals in 3 days. A red canine creature is one of the strays in this city. It mingles among stray dogs and cats, and survives with difficulty. Its name is Jiu Llama, but because it has 9 tails, the vagrants around prefer to call it Jiu. Jiu Llama doesn't care about this name. After all, vagrants may die in any corner of this city at any time. The name is just a name. This day, Jiu was alone as usual, preparing to find today's food in the trash can. If you are lucky, you can find some leftovers. If you are unlucky, you will have to go hungry again today. Sometimes Kyuubi will dream that he is a very powerful being in a world called Ninja World. He is 30 or 40 meters tall and can destroy the world with a light wave of his tail. Humans are afraid of him. In the first half of the dream, he lived a carefree and happy life. Later, he was imprisoned. The dreams after that became more and more vague, and Kyuubi could not remember them clearly. Sometimes dreams are confused with reality. Kyuubi will think that he is the tailed beast that can destroy the world. But when he wakes up from the dream, he is still the weakest wanderer in the city. He finds food from the garbage dump every day, and he has to make himself dirty. He has to avoid humans every day to prevent being hurt by humans. After searching the garbage can, Kyuubi was lucky enough to find a bone with some minced meat attached to it. This meal is settled. Oh my, isn't this the tailed beast Kurama? What's going on? He is eating garbage here. A teasing voice rang out. Jiu instantly became alert, biting the bone in his mouth very tightly. The humans in this city are very dangerous. There may be humans who exude kindness, but you don't know if that kind skin hides vicious malice. Jiang Nan looked at Jiu's appearance of protecting food, just like a wild dog. TSK. I really still like your unruly look. I hope you can keep it. Jiu kept retreating, staring at Jiang Nan with a smile. After retreating to the shadow, Jiu turned and ran. The 9 tails kept swinging behind him, and soon the red figure disappeared. Jiang Nan stood there without moving, but the smile never changed. Jiu hid in a dark alley with the bone in his mouth. When he saw that the human didn't follow, Jiu breathed a sigh of relief. That person seems to know me. No. Humans are dangerous creatures. How can I know humans? Suddenly Jiu felt something was wrong. There was a smell left by other dogs around. This is the territory of other dogs, and it's not just one dog but a group. The strays at the bottom of this city also have groups. Stray dogs and stray cats all have their own groups. These groups will occupy some garbage dumps with more abundant supplies. After all, food resources are limited. If they give food to other strays, they will starve. There is no moral civilization in the society of strays. The weak will starve, and when they are hungry, they will become weak and die. Many groups of strays will mark their territories in their own way. For example, dogs will leave their own smell in their territory, such as their own urine, shit. Once someone invades their territory, they will be attacked by the stray dog group. The lighter ones will drive them out of their territory, and the heavier ones will be directly bitten to death. In this city, stray dogs and stray cats disappear every day. No one cares about this. This is their fate. Nine-tailed fox naturally understands this, so it is ready to leave. Because it is different from other dogs, it has always been a lone ranger, and it has always been alone. The reason for surviving, besides his own survival ability, is not to go to the territories occupied by the stray groups. Although there is abundant food in those territories, it takes life to get it. He was preparing to leave with his bones in his mouth, while the stray dogs didn't notice him. Ninetales passed through the dark path with his bones in his mouth. He seemed to hear the scream of an animal. If nothing unexpected happened, it should be a stray cat that broke into the territory of these guys. Chapter 72, Hero. Nine-tailed fox didn't intend to meddle in other people's business, because those who meddle in other people's business often die quickly. This is the world of wanderers. There are no beautiful heroes. However, it didn't want to cause trouble, but trouble found it. A dog scout found Nine-tailed fox and the bone in Nine-tailed fox's mouth. The smell of the bone was so tempting. Even in the wanderer group, there are big brothers and small brothers. Obviously, this lazy dog who can only be a guard is just a soldier, and the food that soldiers can get is very little. You dog over there, leave the food in your mouth. The lazy dog barked twice, regardless of whether it was something from its territory or not. It was its own. When it saw it, Nine-tailed fox looked at it coldly. It didn't mean that it was afraid of trouble, just because it didn't cause trouble. Get lost. Nine-tailed fox roared coldly, while holding the bone in its mouth. The lazy dog pretended to be powerful in its territory all day long, thinking that it was really awesome. Seeing that Nine-tailed fox was so disdainful of him, how could he bear it? Woof woof. The lazy dog rushed directly to Nine-tailed fox, ready to fight for the bone in its mouth. A trace of disdain flashed in Nine-tailed fox's eyes. The lone ranger among the wanderers is either a cowardly waste, or he is ruthless and strong enough. Nine-tailed fox is obviously the latter. The scoundrel dog just rushed over, and was slapped to the ground by Nine-tailed fox. What a waste. Nine-tailed fox's eyes revealed murderous intent. If this was not the territory of the dog pack, it would definitely bite this scoundrel dog to death. Get lost. Nine-tailed fox loosened its claws. The scoundrel dog also knew that he had offended the wrong person, so he ran away with his tail between his legs. Nine-tailed fox turned around and wanted to leave, but it was too late. Although the scoundrel dog was not its opponent, it also delayed its departure. The scoundrel dog barked twice before rushing over, which was to tip off. In the dark alley, a huge mastiff came out, holding a small kitten in its mouth. The kitten should have been covered with white fur before being injured, but now the white fur has been stained red with blood. You beat my little brother, and stole my food in my territory, and you still want to run away. Ao-kwan was as big as a calf, and looked very fierce. It was obvious that he was the leader of this group of stray dogs. The other stray dogs around him gradually came out of the darkness. Jiuwei looked coldly at the increasing number of stray dogs around him. These stray dogs surrounded Jiuwei. There were more than a dozen of them, big and small. The scoundrel was among them. I don't want to cause trouble, but if you want to die, I don't mind killing you. Don't be timid when you encounter things among stray dogs, because once the other party sees that you are timid, they will not let you go. Only if you are fierce enough, the other party may consider that they will be in danger and let you go. But in your own territory, if you let others take the food away, it would be very embarrassing. Ao-kwan obviously didn't want to let Jiuwei go so easily. Put down the bone, you can go. Jiuwei snorted coldly, with an angry tone. This is mine. Whoever dares to steal it will die. The dozen dogs around him grinned fiercely. Jiuwei's eyes became cold. If you want to steal something, you have to pay with your life. In his own territory, in front of so many brothers, he never expected that the nine-tailed fox in front of him would still be so tough. But there are many dogs on his side, so he is not afraid. It's time to fight. Ao-kwan put down the little white cat he was holding, and Jiu-Wei also put down the bone he had just found. The battle was about to break out. Jiu-Wei moved first, and a hoarse roar came out of his throat. To catch a thief, you must first catch the leader. Jiu-Wei took the lead and rushed towards Ao-kwan, and before the dogs could react, he bit Ao-kwan's neck directly. The sharp teeth instantly bit through Ao-kwan's throat. Ao-kwan roared and began to swing wildly. The dogs around him also moved and began to bite Jiu-Wei wildly. But Jiu-Wei just didn't let go, biting Ao-kwan's neck tightly, as if saying that it was no big deal. 1 for 1. As time passed, Jiu-Wei not only did not relax, but bit even tighter. Scarlet blood flowed from the corners of Jiu-Wei's mouth, making the ground all over. Ao-kwan finally fell to the ground, and at this time, Jiu-Wei was already covered with wounds, with scars all over his body from being bitten by wild dogs. Ao-kwan fell to the ground, blood was flowing all over the ground, and his body was shaking constantly, obviously dying. Jiu-Wei opened his mouth, full of blood, and looked at the dogs around him fiercely. The dogs around were frightened. After their boss died, they were leaderless. Get lost. Jiu-Wei roared, and more than a dozen dogs ran away with their tails between their legs. Seeing that all the dogs had run away, Jiu-Wei's forelegs softened and fell directly to the ground. After being bitten by more than a dozen dogs for such a long time, it actually couldn't stand it. But what if it couldn't stand it? As a wanderer at the bottom, if it couldn't stand it, it would die. Wanderers have no choice. Jiu-Wei dreamed again, dreaming that it returned to the ninja world and became the tailed beast that destroyed the world. In the dream, an old man told it to understand peace, to live in peace with people, and to understand each other. Later, he woke up from the dream. Jiu-Wei felt pain all over his body. Where is this place? I'm so hungry. Jiu-Wei felt hungry as soon as he woke up, and then he saw a white ball from his perspective. The white ball was shrinking in his arms. What is that? Jiu-Wei pushed the white ball in his arms. It was a cat. A white cat without any impurities. There was a small blue circle on its neck. It was a pet cat. Who are you? Jiu-Wei asked the question in his mind. The little white cat woke up in a daze and became happy as soon as he saw Jiu-Wei. Hero, hero, you are my hero. Jiu-Wei was confused. What did you say? Who is the hero? The little white cat looked at Jiu-Wei blankly. You saved me from those villains. You are my hero. The little white cat rubbed Jiu-Wei, and it looked very intimate. Jiu-Wei has been walking alone since he could remember, and he was a little overwhelmed by such intimacy. It was too lonely. Suddenly someone was intimate with him, and Jiu-Wei's first reaction was fear. You know, Jiu-Wei was not afraid when he was besieged by more than a dozen dogs before. Don't get so close to me. What happened after I fainted? Your wounds seem to have healed a lot. Jiu-Wei's tone was a little unnatural. The white cat seemed to be unaware of anything and said happily, after you fainted, hero, a human came and treated our wounds. It also said something very strange, like when a life has love, it has weaknesses. It's so strange. Jiu-Wei looked around. It was dark all around. It was still the alley, but Ao-kwan's body was gone. Jiu-Wei was thinking in his mind. It felt that the dogs in the pack would come back sooner or later, so it was better to leave now. The white cat didn't seem to sense any sense of crisis, and was still happily introducing himself. My name is Zaha. What's your name, hero? Jiulama. Jiu-Wei said impatiently. Chapter 73, Friends. What is a friend? The official meaning is a person with similar interests and similar sentiments. A few days later, Jiu-Wei had a little follower. Maybe it was because he had been lonely for too long, or Jiu-Wei knew that such an innocent pet cat could not survive among the wanderers without its protection. In the end, the two wanderers became friends by various coincidences. Through understanding, Jiu-Wei also understood why Zaha left his owner. It was very simple, for freedom. Zaha has lived in a beautiful world since birth. There is food, drink, and fun. Unlike wanderers, Zaha's world has never been troubled. Its owner likes it very much, and gives it almost unlimited love. This is a life that countless wanderers dream of. As the saying goes, what you can't get is always in turmoil. Xiaohe looked at the outside world through the window at home, and it wanted to go out and see. But Xiaohe didn't know how dangerous the outside world was, but it wanted to pursue freedom. Even if it meant giving up its current life. Jihui felt a pain in his balls after listening to Xiaohe's story. He didn't want a happy life, but became a wanderer who was in danger of his death. Finally, a small opportunity came. Xiaohe's owner forgot to close the window when he left. Xiaohe escaped from the window without hesitation and began to pursue his own freedom. Perhaps the taste of freedom was too fascinating. Xiaohe got lost and came to the bottom of the dog pack. The naive Xiaohe thought that all the lives in the world were as good as his owner. It unconditionally radiated its kindness to all lives, but the result is imaginable. If it weren't for Jihui, this little pet cat would have died. Jihui sometimes often wondered if he could become a pet. Would he be happier if he had an owner like Xiaohe's owner? Hero, where are we going to find food today? Xiaohe was very happy. It was enjoying its freedom and could run around at will without being locked in a small house where it could only eat and sleep every day. The kindness that was radiated all the time gave Jihui a headache. It was better for this naive little guy to stay with his owner. Sooner or later, something would happen if he followed him. Jihui unconsciously had such an idea in his mind. Look, hero, what I found. Xiaohe ran out and pulled out a half-opened can from the garbage. There were a few fish in it, still fresh and just thrown away. Jihui walked over and sniffed it. It was still fresh, not spoiled food. Hero, you eat first. It must be delicious. Xiaohe's eyes flickered like dazzling stars. Jihui took a fish out of the can and pushed it to Xiaohe. You should eat it quickly too. There are not many days for wanderers to find food. My master will definitely like someone as kind as you, hero. When the time comes, come to my house and I will treat you to my favorite steak. In Jihui's eyes, the world is dark, and Xiaohe is the only flower blooming in the dark world. The only flower that exudes kindness to it. This flower should return to its own world, not come to the world of wanderers. In Jihui's memory, he was ostracized by many wanderers because of his 9 tails and red skin color. Even animals will exclude those animals that are different from themselves. Although they are both wanderers, they have never shown kindness to Jihui. Jihui has a plan in his mind, which is to send Xiaohe back to its owner before he dies. Jihui doesn't know why he has such an idea in his mind. Maybe it's because he sees the light, cherishes this light, and doesn't want it to disappear. In this way, the two wanderers had a full meal with this half can of salted fish. The simple and happy daily life passed slowly and slowly. Jihui woke up slowly in the early morning, and the white furry creature that should have stayed in his arms disappeared. It is estimated that it went out again. Xiaohe was very excited to come to the outside world for the first time. Occasionally, he would not sleep and run around in the morning. Fortunately, this area is not the territory of dogs or other wanderers. As long as he doesn't run too far, Jihui can find it by smell. The sun gradually rose into the sky. The little guy who should have come back on weekdays is still not back. Jihui was a little worried for a while. Jihui had never felt this feeling before. Where did this little guy go? Jihui began to follow the smell to find Xiaohe. Gradually, Jihui found that the smell of Xiaohe was mixed with the smell of other strays. It was a pack of dogs. Nothing will happen. Jihui had a bad feeling in his heart. After walking a distance forward, Jihui found a familiar stray. It was the mangy dog from before. At this time, the lazy dog was gnawing on a bone, gnawing hard and licking hard. As Jihui walked over, the lazy dog saw Jihui and clamped his tail that was originally raised high. Oh my god, big brother, please let me go. Do you want to eat bones? Jihui's eyes flashed with disgust, but he still asked. Have you seen a white cat? It's the one that your boss bullied before. The lazy dog was scared and lay on the ground trying to recall. I think I saw it this morning. It ran to the front. I guess it's going to be miserable. I heard that the territory in front is the territory of a fighting dog that ran out of the dog fighting field. It's very fierce. Jihui felt bad. Then he ran towards the smell of Xiaohe in front of him without looking back. At this time, in an abandoned building, several stray dogs were bullying a white kitten out of boredom, biting with teeth, slapping with claws, and even throwing it down the building. Fortunately, the cat's body is relatively flexible, otherwise it would have died when it fell down the building. Damn, you bunch of villains, just wait, the hero will definitely come to save me. Xiao held her head and said fiercely, but the little scared expression could not be hidden no matter what. A pit bull came out in the darkness. It was a giant dog with bite marks all over its body. Its ferocious appearance did not look like an ordinary stray dog at all. Hero? Are there heroes in our world? Are your heroes humans? Don't you know that we are just toys in their eyes? The pit bull showed a mouthful of alloy steel teeth when he spoke. Its teeth had been worn away in battle after battle, but this mouthful of alloy steel teeth is harder and more terrifying than the previous teeth. Looking at the pit bull's ferocious appearance, Xiao curled up again, as if she could protect herself in this way. A dozen big dogs around all made laughing sounds. Chapter 74, Tragedy. The pit bull had obviously been tortured by many humans. In order to keep the dogs ferocious enough, the dog fighting arena would use some very cruel means to constantly provoke the fighting dogs. Xiao said unyieldingly, even though she was curled up. The hero is not my master, but he will definitely come and defeat you. It was not a human, but the pit bull found it interesting that a hero appeared among the wanderers. Little thing, what do you think will happen if I kill you now and your hero comes? The pit bull's eyes shone with scarlet light, and he opened his big mouth, and his alloy steel teeth flashed with the charm of death. Xiao's body couldn't help but tremble. At the critical moment, Jiuwei rushed in directly, and then saw this scene. Get out of my way. Jiuwei roared and rushed directly to the pit bull. Seeing Jiuwei rushing towards him like a mad dog, this familiar feeling made the pit bull extremely excited, as if he had returned to the dog fighting arena again. There is no victory or defeat in the dog fighting arena, only death. Every dog in it is a wild dog, a mad dog. Hero. Seeing Jiuwei's arrival, Xiao was extremely happy. The dozen stray dogs around also stood up at this time. I will kill anyone who dares to interfere. Pitbull said coldly. Habits are pride ingrained in the bones of dogs. Even if it ran out of the dog fighting field, Pitbull is still an excellent fighting dog. For a fighting dog, there is no victory or defeat in a fight, only life and death. At the same time, other dogs are not allowed to intervene in the fight between fighting dogs. Pitbull has regarded Ninetales as its opponent. This is a fight. The proud fighting dog will never allow other dogs to intervene in this fight. If other dogs intervene in this fight, it will be an insult to the life of Pitbull's fighting dog. Even dogs have beliefs. Although Ninetales didn't understand why the dogs around retreated again, it would never miss this opportunity. It opened its mouth wide and bit directly at the throat of the pitbull. The pitbull also opened its mouth. The two dogs wrestled together in an instant, biting every inch of each other's skin frantically. In just a moment, countless blood was spilt. These two dogs are mad dogs. The dogs around couldn't help but feel timid when they saw this scene. They fought for only a few rounds. When they separated again, there was almost no intact part on either side. Come again. The pit bull roared and rushed towards Jiuwei. In terms of combat experience, the pit bull was better after all. Jiuwei was able to compete at the beginning because of its ruthlessness, but as the battle continued, Jiuwei gradually showed signs of defeat. At this time, Xiao rushed into the battlefield and jumped on the pit bull, scratching and scratching. Don't bully heroes. The pit bull was still very angry about this little thing interfering in his battle. Get out. The pit bull opened its big mouth and bit Xiao directly, and then threw it out of the window. Outside the window was the driveway. Speeding vehicles were running wildly on the driveway. The driveway is also a very dangerous place for stray cats and dogs. It is no worse than some malicious humans. Jiuwei naturally knew this, so the murderous intent in his eyes became even worse. Roar. Jiuwei rushed up directly and knocked the pit bull out. The abandoned building was full of broken walls. This was a very dangerous place, and it was impossible for humans to live in such a place. Only stray cats and dogs like to stay in such a place. Ninetales and the pit bull fell from the cracked hole in the wall. Below the hole was a pit, which was filled with old stones and steel bars, all of which were garbage from the abandoned building. Blood splattered everywhere. Ninetales felt pain all over his body, and a protruding steel bar pierced his stomach. Fortunately, this steel bar was not long, only a few centimeters. The pit bull was miserable, and a straight steel bar went straight through his head. It was cold. Ninetales struggled to stand up. Then he climbed out of the pit. The stray dogs around saw that their boss was dead, and saw Ninetales' mad dog-like appearance. The strays were very cherishing their lives, because they wanted to live, and revenge was impossible. A dozen stray dogs gradually dispersed. Ninetales dragged his seriously injured body to the front of the road. Vehicles in the lane were speeding back and forth. Xiao was trembling in the middle of the road. Jiuhui couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief when he saw that Xiao was fine now. It's okay, I'm here. Look for the car and come slowly, hero. Xiao dragged her bloody body and began to move slowly in the lane. She crossed the lane and came to the sidewalk. Safe. Jiuhui once again experienced a new emotion. But the next moment, a black car rushed into the sidewalk unruly. Xiao flew out before she could react. The sound of rapid brakes sounded. A fat middle-aged man got out of the car. Did you hit something when you just took a nap? The man breathed a sigh of relief when he saw clearly that he had hit a white cat. Unlucky thing. The fat middle-aged man kicked the white cat away and kicked it into the grass on the side of the road. Jiuhui was so angry when he saw this scene. So he jumped out and bit the middle-aged man. Oh my god, where did this mad dog come from? The middle-aged man quickly got back into the car, closed the door, and started the engine in one go. No matter how fast the nine-tailed fox ran, it could only watch the black car disappear in the distance. No. The nine-tailed fox was very heartbroken for losing a friend for the first time. What's more, the promise in his heart has not been fulfilled. The life of Xiao in the bush has entered the countdown. It shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like this. The nine-tailed fox dragged his tired body and squatted in front of Xiao. Suddenly, his mind exploded, and the memory in the dream gradually became clear. It is the nine-tailed Kurama, an extremely powerful tailed beast. Everyone should be afraid of him. His chakra is full of tyranny and destruction. He is the synonym of evil. No one can understand him, and he is lonely. And now the only one who can save Xiao is human. Come out, human. The nine-tailed fox roared crazily, even though it now knew that this world was fake. But the feelings are real. Jiangnan slowly walked over from a distance. Oh my, what are you asking me to do? The nine-tailed fox gritted his teeth and said, save it. I refuse. The nine-tailed fox knew that the man in front of him wanted him to surrender. Looking at his dying friend, Kyubi gritted his teeth and said, okay, I lose. I won't resist from now on. I will become your Jinkriki. Is that okay? Jiangnan squatted down with a smile on his face. It hurts, right? The pain of losing your only friend is much more painful than the physical pain. I understand Nagato's thoughts a little bit. It turns out that only when you have experienced the same pain can you truly understand each other. Chapter 75. Destiny. Everything around stopped. Time paused at this moment. Jiangnan looked at Jiuhui and continued to speak. I don't want you to give in. I just want you to try to understand. Try to make friends. Try to trust your friends. So I used a little despicable way to open your heart. Jiuhui fell silent. Okay. Whatever you say is fine. Jiangnan raised the corner of his mouth and snapped his fingers. Time began to flow. The wounds on Jiuhui and Xiao disappeared. Xiao slowly woke up, and it was a little surprised that the wounds on its body disappeared. But it didn't care. Then the little guy began to circle around Jiuhui. Hero, I knew you would come to save me. Jiuhui is no longer the Jiuhui before. No matter how real this world is, it can hurt, laugh, and be happy. But it is fake after all. Human, can you send this guy home? Jiangnan smiled slightly. Of course. I saw a red supercar driving on the road. When the supercar passed by here, it suddenly braked and stopped. A cute girl in a white dress opened the car door and got out. Xiao. Before Xiao could react, she was hugged by the girl. Hey, master? Finally found you. Where have you been these days? It's so dirty outside. What if you eat something bad? The girl's tone was very doting. Jiuwei turned around and prepared to leave. Humans couldn't understand the language of cats. Xiao, hear me out. Hero, hero, my master is here. Look, look. However, Jiuwei had disappeared. Disappeared from the world. The girl took the struggling Xiao into the car. The engine exploded, and the red after image rushed into the distance. Everything around began to blur. Jiangnan opened the script in his hand. I didn't expect this kind of bloody and old-fashioned novel script to be unexpectedly interesting, and the world I created, by imitating the infinite moon reading is really fun. Although it was just a whim, it was really fun. Is this the feeling of manipulating other people's fate? Is this the feeling of writing a sadistic article? Wake up again. Everything just passed in a moment. Jiuwei felt like a lifetime. Jiangnan let go. Kuroma, let's go. You should be able to try to understand others now. However, the current body of the Ninetales is obviously not suitable for entering Konoha. But the essence of the Ninetales is actually a ball of chakra. Jiangnan directly absorbed the Ninetales into his body. Konoha Hospital. Fortunately, the invasion of Konoha did not destroy the hospital. Uzumaki Kushina was lying on the bed, and Namikaze Minato was holding her hand. Tsunade was trying hard to treat her. The Uzumaki clan is indeed a race with immortal bodies, and their vitality is not ordinary. Namikaze Minato was not worried. Anyway, the group leader would be here soon. Speak of the devil and he will appear. Jiangnan appeared in the ward in an instant. At this time, there were not many people in the ward because of the treatment. There were only Namikaze Minato and medical Tsunade who were accompanied by his family. Tsunade frowned at the sudden appearance of the ward. Who are you? Namikaze Minato hurriedly introduced. This is a friend of mine, who also knows medical skills. Tsunade didn't care too much, and continued to treat, because she didn't think there was anyone in the ninja world, who had better medical skills than herself. Jiangnan was smiling. Isn't this Miss Tsunade? It's bigger than I thought. You are so rude, Tsunade said in a somewhat unkind tone. No, you misunderstood. I was talking about age, right? Aunt Tsunade. Jiangnan smiled, as if he was an honest child. If Tsunade wasn't receiving emergency treatment now, she would definitely teach Jiangnan a lesson with her strange strength. Uzumaki Kushina had already fallen into a coma. Her vitality was constantly slipping away. Jiangnan clapped his hands. Okay, let's stop chatting. It's time to save people. In Tsunade's puzzled eyes, Jiangnan put his hand on Uzumaki Kushina's belly. In an instant, extremely terrifying and abundant vitality directly entered Uzumaki Kushina's body. It repaired all of Uzumaki Kushina's injuries, cleared all of her hidden diseases, and the damage caused by losing the Ninetales disappeared instantly. Even the need for confinement after giving birth was saved. Uzumaki Kushina slowly opened her eyes. She felt that she had a good sleep, a very comfortable sleep. The fatigue from childbirth disappeared, and the danger from the Ninetales being extracted disappeared. She seemed to have returned to her peak. Tsunade looked at this scene in disbelief. As the top medical ninja, he certainly knew Uzumaki Kushina's current physical condition. That was the tailed beast being extracted. If it were an ordinary person, they would have died immediately. Uzumaki Kushina wanted to sit up. Tsunade said hurriedly. Wait, let me check. After a flustered check, Tsunade couldn't help but doubt her life. Uzumaki Kushina was very healthy, even a little too healthy. Even the hidden disease left over from the previous war period disappeared. What kind of medical ninjutsu is this? Tsunade asked Jiangnan the question in her mind. Jiangnan thought about it. This shouldn't be a trick. He just injected vitality into Uzumaki Kushina's body. Is this a trick? If it is, what name should it be called? Jiangnan began to ponder, and suddenly he thought of it. I'm the only one in the world, the most compassionate and merciful in the world, the kiss of angels, the ultimate healing technique that heals everything. This name is so domineering. Namikaze Minato, as expected of the group leader, this name is really amazing. Jiangnan patted his chest. Of course, I'm very awesome. Tsunade felt a little speechless. I think it's better to call it the ultimate healing technique. Jiangnan shook his head. No, your name looks like a rubbish skill in a third-rate online game. My series of names look domineering, awesome, tall, cool, handsome and awesome. Namikaze Minato, as expected of the group leader. Tsunade was a little tempted by this powerful medical technique. As a medical ninja, if she can learn such an awesome medical ninjutsu, she can save many people on the battlefield or even at work. To ask for help, you have to lower your attitude. So Tsunade did not pursue Jiangnan's offense. Namikaze Minato seemed to have thought of something and spoke. Where is the group leader Ninetales? You won't kill him, will you? Jiangnan had a look on his face that said, what do you think of me? How is that possible? This is your cheat. How can I kill your cheat? After my gentle persuasion, Ninetales has agreed to live in peace with you. But Minato, if you want to completely conquer Ninetales, it will take time and patience. You need the patience you had when you chased Uzumaki Kushina. Uzumaki Kushina is a red-haired girl and you like her very much. Ninetales is also a red-haired girl. I believe you will like her too. The corners of Minato Namikaze's mouth twitched. Uzumaki Kushina looked at him with a weird look in her eyes. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.